Steelers 88. Brought to you by the Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages, the one that works. By Pittsburgh National Bank, the bank that's built on pride in performance. And by McDonald's. Good time, great taste. That's why McDonald's is my place.
Live from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., it's Pittsburgh Steelers preseason football. Tonight, the Steelers open the preseason against the Super Bowl champion Washington Redskins. Hello again, everybody. I'm Stan Savran. Welcome to Pittsburgh Steelers preseason football. For our fourth year together, we welcome Jack Cam. Jack's first time we've had a chance to talk. On behalf of everyone here on the network telecasting crew, and I'm sure everyone watching, congratulations on your installation to the Hall of Fame. We're all very proud.
Stan, thanks a lot. I've been on cloud nine since I got back from Canton. I think it's finally starting to sink in that I'm one of 144 guys in the Hall of Fame.
Now to the business at hand tonight. Chuck Noll has named Bubby Brister as the starting quarterback. He's got the edge, but Noll hedged a bit, saying that, well, we'll see what happens in the exhibition game. But I know, Jack, you think that it's Brister's job to lose.
I think it's no question, and Noll in his own mind feels Bubby Brister is a man going to carry this offense. He changed the offense for Bubby Brister. He put in the rollout. He put in the sprint out for him. He put in a bootleg. The best thing that Bubby Brister does is throw the football on the run, and Chuck Noll is going to take advantage of it.
Well, this year there are always the battles for the 47 roster spots. That happens every year. But this year especially, there are a lot of battles for starting positions, and especially in the offensive backfield, as the Steelers try to find out who the starting running backs will be. Look quickly now. This was the only run by a Steeler back for over 40 yards last year. A 51-yarder by Dwight Stone against the Colts. Leading rushers Ernest Jackson and Frank Pollard are solid backs who rarely lose yardage, but who just as rarely break runs for more than 10 yards. Pollard is 31 this year, and 8 seasons have taken a toll on his knees. Jackson, who will be 29 in December, came into camp a little paunchy, looking like he's eating some of those trading cards he peddles. Both these backs have had trouble turning the corner. They are proven runners who will make the team, although maybe not as starters.
I don't think we're going to face that many tough decisions as to get down to the final 5 or the final 6 or whatever we get down to. I think if some of the people keep going and play like in the preseason games like they practice, we're going to have a decision on who's going to start.
Dwight Stone is one of 2 backs making strong bids to start. Stone is finally comfortable with the system and seems ready to unleash his speed.
Oh, yes, I do feel a lot more confident coming in because last year you were very tense. You know, if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. This year I have like second nature. When I know something's wrong, I know ahead of time before I do it.
And second-year player Merrill Hodge could be the starting fullback come September. He's a brutal inside runner who is punishing tacklers after putting on 20 pounds in the offseason. And he has a very simple philosophy. Stop me if you can.
Football is a contact sport, and you've got to be prepared at all times. You can't run in there, you know, it's light-footed. You're going to get hurt.
And the man on the bubble is Walter Abercrombie. After a subpar 1987, Abercrombie finds himself on the outside looking in at Latrobe. He's being pushed for a roster spot by 2 rookies. Number 6 pick Warren Williams of Miami, and the All-American boy, Gordy Lockbaum. Lockbaum is coming off a fabled college career at Holy Cross, where he played offense, defense, and special teams.
You got to try to show your versatility right now because the offense isn't designed around myself or any one person for that matter. So, you know, you're doing a lot of blocking, and, you know, when it's your turn to get the ball, you got to make the most of it. You know.
Merrill Hodge and Dwight Stone will be the starting running backs. The Steelers have won the toss. They have elected to receive. Chip Lohmiller, second-round draft pick out of Minnesota, trying to win the place-kicking job with the Redskins, will kick off for the Super Bowl champions. Sellout crowd at RFK Stadium. We are underway. Lohmiller's kick coming to Rod Woodson at the 1-yard line. Spins off 1 tackle. Now he's taken down just outside the 11-yard line. Coming down to make the initial hit was Keith Griffin, and he had opened up from Raven Caldwell. Griffin made the stop. Caldwell hit him initially. The Steelers starting offensive line, Buddy Idolette, Craig Wolfley, Mike Webster back for his 15th year, Terry Long, Tunchilkin. Bubby Brister gets the call at quarterback. Hodge and Dwight Stone in the backfield. Lewis Lips, Ouija Thompson, the wideouts. Preston Gothard, the tight end. 1st and 10. They'll spot it at the 12-yard line. That's Thompson in motion. Quick handoff to Dwight Stone. Across the 15 and out to the 16-yard line. He stumbled over one of his own offensive linemen, a gain of 4 on a trap play. It'll be 2nd and 6. The Redskins defense. Remember, Dexter Manley is under suspension. He will not play tonight. Hamilton, Hamill, Dave Butts back for his 15th year. Charles Mann. The linebackers, Wilbur Marshall, controversial free agent deal from the Bears. Olkowitz and Monty Coleman. In the secondary, Davis, Green, Walton, and Bowles. 2nd and 6 Steelers, their own 16. Stone motion. Stone's going out for a pass. Pass incomplete for Lewis Lips. That'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Barry Wilburn starting on the corner for Darrell Green offered the coverage. That time Jack Stone was in motion and came right out of the backfield straight up the field on the numbers.
Well, Pittsburgh is trying to get Stone into that secondary. He's got tremendous speed. They got him on the same side of the field as Louis Lips. He ran the streak pattern downfield. It was well covered. That secondary, the Redskins plays man-to-man tight coverage, and they covered well on that play. That time, however, the linebackers dropped back into the short zone. Stone was not open. It is 3rd down and 6. Moving on the line of scrimmage. Let's see who moved. Everybody pointing at each other. Tunjilkin is called for the procedure penalty by a referee, Fred Wyant. So instead of 3rd and 6, it'll be 3rd down and 11. There is Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator, and this year, Tom Moore will be signaling in the plays with hand signals to quarterback Bubby Brister or Todd Blackledge, whomever. We will see that a little bit later on in the ball game. Gordy Lockbaum in the game, number 17, the receiving specialist. Brister with time, over the middle, Lips is open, incomplete at the 28-yard line. Wilburn there in the coverage, the pass slightly behind him. Brister is incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down and 11. Lips was open for a moment, but the ball was there late. Stan, one thing in that secondary, Lips was looking around hoping to get a pass interference penalty. This year in the NFL, the officials are not going to call it that close. Unless it's a flagrant foul downfield, they feel that pass interference penalty can be a 40, 50, or 60-yard penalty. They're not going to call it. It's going to be to the advantage of the defense this year a little bit more than before. Mike Oliphant, a rookie, 3rd-round draft choice on a Puget Sound to receive. Harry Newsom to punt. It's a spiral, but a low spiral. A lot of room now for Oliphant. Steeler territory. He's got the sideline and just tripped up by Greg Lloyd at the Steeler 36-yard line. A 47-yard punt, but a long return for Oliphant, who's trying to make this club as a kick returner. The one thing Washington can always do, special teams has always been to their advantage. A little move right here, and he gets a good blocking on the outside, and Lloyd really trips him up at the last minute, or he's into the end zone for a score. Here's the play again. He just comes up the middle. It's a left return, and he breaks it back to the outside. That's where he picks up a couple of blockers. That's where Lloyd finally gets a hold of him. Merrill Hodge was downfield, but missed the tackle. So the Redskins start out in Steeler territory. Doug Williams is the quarterback. Play fake. Pass is incomplete. Should have been caught. In and out of the hands of Ricky Sanders, who's getting the start tonight for Art Monk, who has a hamstring injury. Let's take a look now at the Steeler defense as the Redskins come up 2nd and 10. John Dominic, rookie free agent out of Syracuse at 1 end. Tim Johnson at the other. Gerald Williams starts for Gary Dunn. Hinkle, Little, Cole, and Lloyd, the linebacker. He is starting where Mike Merriweather, the holdout, normally would be. Woodruff on one corner. Larry Griff is in there for Delton Hall. Gowdy and Everett the safety. 2nd down and 10, Redskins. Timmy Smith on the cutback. Gets a yard, maybe 2 to the 34-yard line. Coming in to make the tackle for the Steelers, Brian Hinkle. And the Redskin offense, the Hogs up front. Mark May, Rick Kerr starring for the injured R.C. Thielen, Bostic, Raleigh McKenzie, and the huge Joe Jacoby. We've got an injured player down, by the way. It is Tim Johnson. Williams at quarterback, Tim Smith, the running back. Art Monk was to have started. However, Ricky Sanders is in there. We've also got Eric Yarber, double tight end with Clint Didier and Don Warren. The injured player is Tim Johnson of the Steelers.
We've got a timeout on the field. There is no score, and we'll be back in a moment. Defensive end Tim Johnson was injured on the play, but he walked over to the sideline under his own power. Johnson missed better than a week of training camp with a bruised chest. We don't know whether it was the same injury or not. As it is, Keith Gary, who's got a knee problem of his own, is in a right defensive end. The Redskins with a 3rd down and 8 just inside the Steelers' 35-yard line. Kelvin Bryant in the game as the lone setback. He's a great pass receiver. Williams deep to the corner. Overthrown and incomplete. The pass intended for Sanders, but good coverage by Dwayne Woodruff, who started tonight as the left cornerback.
Here's Greg Lloyd right now, the linebacker, playing in place of Mike Merriweather, who's holding out right now for the last 10 or 12 days. One thing about playing outside linebacker, Lloyd has got to learn the entire scheme. It's a lot of learning process. He was injured the entire last year with a knee injury. He came back this year, has had a good camp, but it's a different situation when you're playing in the game.
Rookie Wayne Ross will be punting for the Redskins. Rod Woodson back at his 10-yard line. Remember, the line of scrimmage is the 35, so Ross, who was a 12th round draft choice out of San Diego State, will try to be angling out of bounds. Steelers with a rush. Looking for the corner. Ross is going to have the ball down at the 1-yard line. Got it up high enough so his Redskins special teammates could get down. They stopped the ball on the 1-yard line.
Standers calling it a touchback down on the goal line. The officials saying he did not stop the ball. It broke the plane of the goal line, and they're bringing it back to the 20-yard line.
Brian Davis, the cornerback out of Nebraska, was the guy down there. I'd like to see that again sometime.
Well, one thing about the Redskins, I talked about their special teams. They were defending Super Bowl champions, and they didn't get there because just their offense and defense played well last year and made a lot of big plays on special teams the entire season, and they've got a reputation of making big plays.
It looked like he had the ball down at the 1-yard line. It's entirely possible, however, that his foot could have been touching the goal line. Where was it last year, Jeff? We were in New Orleans, I believe. We had a play like that. Guy stopped the ball on the 1-yard line. It was very close. Bubby Brister, after an unsuccessful first series, had a long conversation with Tom Moore. That is indeed a change in the Steeler hierarchy, Jack, and that Tom Moore now down on the sideline, signaling in the plays. He used to be upstairs, and Dwayne Painter, who's the wide receiver coach, is now upstairs, and we presume suggesting the plays.
And also, they take a one man off the headsets upstairs. Right now, Tom Moore is talking only to Dick Hoke. Dick Hoke is communicating with Tom Moore down on the field, and also Chuck Noll when the offense has the ball. Last year, a few more guys were involved in the communication. Now they simplified it a little bit more, only 3 people, including Noll.
That 17 you saw is not a salute to Doug Williams. That is the time remaining on the play clock, and it is stuck with 17 seconds, so they're trying to recycle it. Remember the new rule in the NFL this year. It is no longer the 30-second clock. It is 45 seconds from the completion of the previous play. So they're working on the 30-second clock. We have 13:05 to play in the first quarter. We should mention some of the players who will not play tonight, primarily because they're not here. Pretty tough to play a long distance. Keith Willis has a sprained neck. He is not here. One of the big disappointments, Jack, every year you look forward to seeing the #1 draft choice play. Maybe next week, but not this. Aaron Jones with a turf toe will not play tonight.
Well, turf toe, I mean, people out there realize a guy is out of the game because of a turf toe. It can be very painful. You cannot push off. You cannot get any power at all. I'm sure he'll be back next week. Outstanding pass rusher, needs a lot of work on the running game, but he can give that defense that outside passing lane, which they have not had in the last couple of years.
Walter Abercrombie is not here tonight, so obviously he will not be playing either. They really didn't want to use Keith Gary that much, but with Tim Johnson getting hurt, he was in on the first series. 1st and 10, Steelers at the 20. Merrill Hodge hit behind the line of scrimmage, but uses his own power to get a yard to the 21. Charles Mann made the hit in the backfield and brought him down for the 1-yard gain, the 6-year veteran out of Nevada, Reno.
This is where Bubby Brister has got to take control of the team right now. The one thing the coaches were concerned about, he's a real hyper guy. He gets involved into the game. He's got to keep his composure, keep his poise. The first couple plays, they've been covered. He had to come off his receivers. He's got to keep his poise and run the team.
Weegee Thompson split to the top side of your screen, lips down below. Brister on the rollout. This is something new the Steelers have added. He fires and overthrows the intended receiver, Dwight Stone, It was across the 30 at the 32, the pass incomplete. And that's, again, something Jack was talking about at the top of the broadcast. Because the Steelers, I think, anticipated using Brister, they've added a lot of rollout to the offense.
Looking over last year, they just felt Mark Malone was too patterned, and we got away from their game plan. There wasn't much they could do. Bobby Brister can improvise, get outside of containment, make a big play. At that time, he rolled to his right, try to get a ball downfield. He's got good quickness, will run with the football, but give a defensive line a lot of trouble trying to contain him before they rush him.
Charles Lockett is in as the third wide receiver, and so is Gordy Lockbaum. Here's a delayed draw. Just a short gain out to the 23-yard line. Hodge stopped for a couple yards. There is a flag down on the play.
I think they may have caught the old veteran Mike Webster for holding on the play. They threw the flag down near Mike Webster on a delayed draw play.
Decline, fourth down.
Now Buddy Idolette gets the call from Fred Wyatt. Obviously the Redskins will decline because it is third down. Make it fourth down and 8 yards, and the Steelers for the second consecutive time will be forced to punt. Last time they were burned on a very good punt return by Mike Oliphant. Harry Newsome in a battle, I suppose we can use that term loosely, with John Bruno for the punting job. Will get the call again. His first effort, a 47-yarder. Good punt by Newsome. Oliphant at the 29. Breaks the first wave. Really stumbled and fell on his own at the 35-yard line. So a 6-yard return after a 48-yard punt. 12:09 to play in the first quarter. We've got a timeout. With the score, the Steelers nothing, the Redskins nothing. We'll be back in a moment.
Right now at McDonald's, get 3 big summer meal combos fast. Each with a super summer-sized Coca-Cola and super summer-sized fries. Just say number 1 for a Big Mac combo, number 2 a McDLT combo, number 3 a quarter pounder with cheese combo. And all 3 are ready to go when you are. For a limited time, pay only $3.33 for any super summer-sized meal combo. That's just $3.33, only at McDonald's.
Tic-tac-toe, please.
Okay. What can I get for $1?
Tic-tac-toe, please.
Tic-tac-toe. Pennsylvania Lottery, new instant game, scratch and match 3 in a row. Lots of $1,000 instant prizes. Win up to $1 million on a Saturday TV spin.
Tic-tac-toe, please.
Interesting.
I got it! Oh, hey,
New tic-tac-toe from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
I can't believe it!
You have to play to win.
The heartland pours it on real tall. Health kick, milk's that kick. The deep south says, come on, y'all. Health kick, milk's that kick. The east coast drinks milk at work and at play. The high country's drinking milk every day. In the USA, there's just one thing to say. America's favorite health kick milk.
On the second series for defense, the Steelers come in with an almost all-new linebacking core. Tyrone Stowe, number 90, is in. Hardy Nickerson, number 54, is in the ball game. So 2 new inside linebackers for the Steelers. The defensive line, Tim Johnson is back in the game, only hurt for a moment. He'll be back in the ball game. Got Gerald Williams on the nose, and John Dominic, the free agent from Syracuse, is playing the left defensive end. 1st and 10, Washington, their own 35. This is Tim Smith. Got some running room. Picks up 5 to the 40. Tyrone Stowe in on the tackle for the Steelers. He's a second-year man out of Rutgers. He joined the club last year in the strike, during the strike. There is Hardy Nickerson, who's fighting for a starting job with Robin Cole.
It's just a power blocking downfield. Mark May getting into Hardy Nickerson and just taking him right out of the play. It's a real mismatch, but you got to get underneath the offensive lineman, get leverage, and hold him up and make the hole small. That time, Hardy Nickerson got driven right by the play.
2nd 5 and the delay counter. Good defensive play by the Steelers as they stop Smith for a yard loss at the 39-yard line. Greg Lloyd, a young man from Fort Valley State in his first year, but really a raw rookie, makes the tackle. He is playing the spot that normally would be occupied by Mike Merriweather.
He just came off his blocker, got into the backfield, made the player go, running back Timmy Smith go inside, and also came up with the tackle as well. That's an outstanding play by really a rookie outside linebacker, even though it's a second year.
Speaking of renegotiation, you see Tim Smith there. He just had his contract renegotiated. So if Mike Merriweather's watching, it does happen on occasion. 3rd down, 6 for the Redskins, their own 39-yard line. Williams intercepted and dropped. Now, will they call the interception? Yes, they will. Dwayne Woodruff made the interception, and they're going to rule that he was stripped of the football. So Dwayne Woodruff, the veteran from Louisville, makes the interception, and the Steelers will have the ball at their own 46-yard line. Anthony Allen was the intended receiver.
Well, this is the MVP from the Super Bowl last year, Doug Williams, but he just throws a bad ball right here, right in the hands of Dwayne Woodruff. He comes down with both feet. It's an interception and a fumble, and he comes up with the interception with Pittsburgh at the ball at the 45-yard line, but just a bad throw by Doug Williams.
Yep. Woodruff indeed had both feet on the ground when he caught it and had possession of the football when Allen stripped him. I think also we should give credit to Lorenzo Freeman, the nose guard, because he had a hand in Doug Williams' face and indeed may have tipped the ball.
And also out there, Anthony Allen, the receiver, will not play normally during the regular season. In fact, he had some big games in the replacement games. And a lot of times your quarterback has a feel for Art Monk or for Gary Clark and knows which way they're going to move in that secondary. And that time he looked like a bad throw by Doug Williams.
And you got a sideline look at the barrister, Dwayne Woodruff, who just a week ago took the law boards in the state of Pennsylvania after graduating from Duquesne. Brister is hit, then he's going to be sacked back at the 40-yard line. First man to get in there was linebacker Monty Coleman. Brister, who has yet to complete a pass, is sacked for the loss, 6-yard loss at his own 40.
You got to remember, right now, Bubby Brister is looking at a rush for the first time since last year. In training camp, he does not get hit at all. Now he's getting pressure from his 4th-down lineman. And maybe he delivered the ball a little bit early in training camp. He's got to get rid of it here and come off as his receiver. This time he just stays in the pocket and finally gets sacked.
Coleman gets the sack. Dean Hamill was there to clean it up. It is 2nd down and 16. Dwight Stone looking to get outside, and if he does, he can fly. Stone at the Redskin 45-yard line. Dwight Stone picking up 15 yards, and the Steelers will move to a 3rd and 1. Todd Bowles, the free safety out of Temple, made the tackle on the speedy Dwight Stone.
This is they want. It's a trap play by Pittsburgh, a counter play. Stone coming back to the weak side. Tunch Ilkin coming through. Also a good block by the wide receiver on Coleman. And I'll tell you, Dwight Stone gets into the secondary. That's exactly what they want to do with Stone. Get tremendous speed, and he'll make big plays. Pittsburgh has never had a running back like Dwight Stone.
Good block by Terry Long on the trap on Wilbur Marshall, who got caught inside, and that sprung Dwight Stone.
That is the $6 million linebacker getting blocked by Terry Long, and Terry Long may renegotiate his contract.
3rd down and 1. Merrill Hodge plows ahead, and there's a fumble. Steeler ball, and they've got the 1st down at the Redskin 43. I thought Hodge had fumbled.
Stan, he just got turned around in short yardage. What you've got to do is get that 1st down, and Hodges ran right up the middle. It's a straight-ahead power play. You see him getting hit from the outside. He just keeps his feet right now, just keeps his feet, keeps driving, trying to find that extra yardage for the 1st down. And they said he would not go down in training camp, and he's running like that in the preseason game as well, running very hard in short yardage.
And that was Wilbur Marshall he bounced off of. The first down of the ball game, the Steelers at the Redskin 43. Stone gets a couple. The 42-yard line. Coming up quickly was middle linebacker Neil Okowitz and strong safety Alvin Walton.
And Stan, for Stone and Hodge, the improvement you make from your rookie year to your second year is incredible. You're comfortable finally in training camp. You don't have to think about what you're doing. It comes natural. In college, all Stone did was catch the ball on a pitch out and go to the outside and try to turn the corner. He's learned defenses, how to read defense, how to make the cuts. He's a much improved player from his rookie season.
2nd down and 8. Long 8. Quick pop over the middle and a mistimed route. He was looking on the look in for Dwight Stone, but he zigged. Brister zagged. It is incomplete, and Brister now 0 for 4 to bring up 3rd and a long 8.
Bubby Brister, he read blitz coming, the free safety. Stone did not see it, never turned back to the football. Bubby Brister doesn't have time to go back there. He's got to get rid of the football in a hurry. Stone never turned around. Again, not realizing it was a blitz situation, didn't read the secondary. That's why he went for an incomplete pass.
So then Brister read blitz control, which is an automatic route, and Stone did not.
Some of those incompletions are on running backs or wide receivers, not always the quarterback.
Third down, long 8. Safety blitz by the Redskins. Brister lobs it up for Thompson, and he drops it inside the 20-yard line. A catchable pass. Thompson had clearly beaten the defensive back on the play, Brian Davis, but he couldn't hang on to the football. That'll bring up 4th down.
Boy, again, they're coming after Bubby Brister. They think he's an inexperienced quarterback, getting his first start. The Redskins are coming after him, blitzing again. You see the free safety at the top of the screen coming right up the middle. Bubby reads the blitz well and gets rid of the football. This ball should be caught, and Ouija Thompson's got to make those catches on 3rd down. Louis Lips is going to be a guy that's going to be covered most of the year, double covered. Ouija Thompson will get the single coverage. He's got to make those kind of catches.
Newsome looking for the sideline, gets it up very high, needs the bounce, hits on the goal line, and goes into the end zone for the touchback. So the Redskins will get the football at their own 20-yard line. 7:56 to play in the first quarter. We are scoreless at RFK. We'll be back in a moment. Nearly midway through the first quarter, the Redskins still looking for their first down. We had the first turnover of the game. An interception by Dwayne Woodruff. The Steelers picked up 1 first down, but we're not able to move after that.
Stan, it's probably a typical first preseason quarter. Offense is a little bit shaky. They're rusty right now. The timing is not there. They're not making the crisp cuts. Both of the receivers or the receivers are dropping footballs. And the defenses are usually a little bit ahead of the offense at this point in the preseason.
Steelers have a problem on their defensive line. Gary Dunn is a bad back. They really don't want to play him. So you're seeing Gerald Williams and Lorenzo Freeman. Keith Willis is not here tonight. Keith Gary, they're not going to play a great deal. Jerry Reese is injured. Aaron Jones is injured. So you're seeing Tim Johnson, second-year man out of Penn State, and John Dominic, a rookie free agent out of Syracuse. So kind of a thin defensive line for the Steelers. First down and 10, Washington. Flat pass, nearly good for a first down, close to the 30-yard line. Dwayne Woodruff making the tackle on the little hitch pattern.
That's the thing the Washington team, the offense has done the entire season last year. Little quick, short patterns. You can't even get a rush up the field on Williams. He gets rid of the ball so quickly. Most teams play a zone defense on first down. Dwayne Woodruff was off the receiver like he was supposed to do on the play, and Doug Williams took advantage of it. You see it again right now, people dropping off in the secondary, wide open by about 5 yards. Then Dwayne Woodruff comes up and helps out on the tackle.
Second down, short yardage for the Redskins, their own 29. Tim Smith runs into his own blocker and knocks him over. Gets out to the 34-yard line for a first down before Thomas Everett gets him. There's a 99 on the field for the Steelers. Don't get nervous. Darrell Sims is not back. It is Gerald Williams who apparently tore his jersey, and Williams is wearing number 99. That was a scary sight there for a minute. I thought Darrell had come back.
He were to dust off some old lines.
A first down for the Redskins, their initial first down of the ball game. At their own 34, scoreless game, 6.5 to play in the first quarter. Williams with a lot of time, deep over the middle, and it is caught. Deep in Steeler territory, the 30-yard line by Ricky Sanders. The pass, good for nearly 37 yards. Thomas Everett and Larry Griffin, the right corner, make the tackle.
Stan, this is a case of not getting the pass rush. We got a lot of defensive linemen banged up. Did not get to Doug Williams at all. This is man-to-man coverage, trying to get help from the free safety in the middle. And it just takes a long time. Everett cannot get there and help out. He's helping on the other side of the field. The quarterback just stood back there too long, looked off Everett to the other side of the field. He could not recover and help out Griffin.
Officially a 35-yard gain. Pitch pass. Short gain to the 26-yard line. Again, it is Ricky Sanders. Anthony Henton, the outside linebacker, makes the initial hit. Larry Griffin there to help. Remember, the Redskins are not using their top 2 receivers tonight, Art Monk and Gary Clark, both of whom have hamstring problems. Jack, that hitch pattern is almost unstoppable. Why don't we see more teams use it?
Well, you're seeing a lot of it right now because Pittsburgh's playing some pattern defenses on first down. Like I said, they're playing a lot of zone defense. Doug Williams, a lot of young people back there so he can read it. He gets a good pre-read, and it's almost like a running play. It's such a safe play out there. Then you set up a 2nd down and 5.
Like a free 5 yards. Didier in motion. Williams throwing deep in the corner. Got a man wide open. Touchdown, Washington. Anthony Allen with the easy touchdown catch. Way behind the defense. And the Redskins strike first.
Anthony Allen just went up the sidelines on Dwayne Woodruff on a play. Again, no pressure at all. You see him right now just jam right into Woodruff. Woodruff looks like he hesitated, looked back to the quarterback for a second, took his eye off Anthony Allen. He went right by him for an easy score. You see Williams right now setting up, getting no pressure at all, just sitting back there and waiting. Nickerson on a blitz doesn't get to him, and Allen catches an easy touchdown pass.
Chip Lohmiller to attempt the extra point. He's the 2nd-round draft pick out of Minnesota. No one can assume he is the odds-on favorite to win the place-kicking battle here in Washington. 4:55 to play in the first quarter. We've got a timeout on the field to score. The Redskins 6 and the Steelers nothing. Redskins scoring on the touchdown pass to Anthony Allen. Jack, what was strange about that was almost every pass they've thrown has been play action. That one was not. Why would Woodruff bite on what looked like a play action fake?
Either he broke down on the coverage, thought it was a different coverage, and when he looked back to the quarterback in man-to-man coverage, you're dead. I don't care if you're a rookie or you're a seasoned veteran. That time, Dwayne Woodruff, after the jam, looked back to the quarterback. He lost the receiver, and he just went up the sidelines for an easy touchdown. But in the same situation, we got a blitz from Hardy Nickerson up the middle. Did not get to Doug Williams at all. In fact, he just waited back there until Allen came free and delivered the ball.
Lohmiller, the 2nd-round pick out of Minnesota, missed the extra point.
Probably the first thing you learn as a defensive back or linebacker covering man-to-man. Keep your eye on the receiver at all times. Don't turn back to the quarterback until he turns back with his hands or his eyes looking for the ball. That's when you turn back, and Dwayne Woodruff just came off the receiver.
Gordy Luckbaum on the near side, and Dwight Stone. And it is Stone who takes it at the 1-yard line. He's got a lane to the outside if he can get there, but a great downfield tackle for the Redskins. Terry Orr, the tight end, number 87, came down. He's a big man, 6'3½", 235 pounds. He came down to stop Stone at the 18-yard line. The Steelers have not gotten much yardage on their 2 kickoff returns. Chuck Noll in his 20th season had never lost a preseason opener until 2 years ago, and now has lost the last 2. First last year, the Steelers lost to the Redskins 23-17. Bubby Brister 0 for 4 at quarterback. It is still Dwight Stone and Merrill Hodge, and Stone is in motion the wrong way, and that'll cost the Steelers some yardage.
Well, we had Stone moving on the play, and also Buddy Adelette. Buddy Adelette is lining up on that left tackle right over Wilbur Marshall. And they end up paying him all that money just to stand out there be an average linebacker. He's a guy that stays on the field on every play, covers people out of the backfield, covers wide receivers, rushes off the corner, outstanding against the run. And he's going to be a great asset to this Redskin defense this year.
80-yard drive for the Redskins after the punt by Newsom that went into the end zone. And Lionel Austin is in a wide receiver for the Steelers. That's on the bottom of your screen. He is number 81. 1st and 15. Brister in trouble. Fires to the sideline, and it is caught. Brister's first completion. Charles Lockett, the 2nd-year man, makes the reception. They'll mark him out of bounds. So Bubby now 1 for 5. Gets the Steelers out of a hole.
You see right now Bubby Brister getting pressure from the right side, and this is the impromptu things that he's going to be able to do. Come out of the pocket, and Pittsburgh practices throwing the football, scrambling on the run, and that time Lockett just comes back to the football up the sideline, coming back to Bubby Brister so he can see him and got some good yardage.
An 11-yard gain. This is Merrill Hodge on 2nd and 4. Hodge turns upfield. Looks like he has the first down near the 29-yard line. Merrill Hodge will not fool anyone, but he will leave some black and blue marks when he's done. Todd Bowles made the tackle, and he felt every bit of it. Hodge has added 20 pounds onto his frame, so he's going about 225, 228. Good size for fullback.
I talked to Dick Hoke, the backfield coach, this afternoon. He just said Merrill Hodge came back with an attitude that he's going 110% on every play at training camp, and he's knocking down defensive linemen and linebackers.
First and 10 Steelers, their second first down of the ball game near their own 29. They trail 6-0. Short drop by Brister, fires out of the flat, and again, it appeared to be a miscommunication with Dwight Stone. Stone was now looking back for the ball, and Wilbur Marshall was right there anyway.
Wilbur Marshall was all on top of Dwight Stone coming out of that backfield. And Bubby's just delivering the ball a little bit early right now. Stone well covered. He has to come off Stone on that play and go to his secondary receiver downfield. And that's some of the experience that Bubby Brister is going to have to learn here in the preseason.
Second down and 10. And again, Brister getting the signals in from the offensive coordinator, Tom Moore, on the sideline. Receiver split either side. That's Alston in motion. The delay handoff to Stone. Needs a block. Spins across the 30 and off to the 33-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be third down and 6.
And Washington defense, they're not making it easy for Bubby Brister. On the running plays, they're jumping up at the free safety in the line of scrimmage. These are things you do in the 4th preseason game or the regular season. You don't do them in the 1st preseason game. You play usually a pretty standard defense. They're giving Bubby Brister a lot of different looks here in his first game.
Steelers will take Stone out and go to their pass unit. Joey Clinkscale's in the game in a slot to the bottom of the screen with Alston. Brister looking deep sideline for Lockbaum, and it is incomplete. Double coverage over there on the sideline. Gordy Lockbaum, the rookie, 9th-round pick out of Holy Cross, the Heisman candidate. Looked like he had a shot at it, turned around, but the ball batted away by the combination of Wilbur Marshall and Todd Bowles. 4th down, and once again, Harry Newsom will be on to punt.
We're trying to get the ball upfield. Lockbaum, who's got a feel for the offensive passing game. You see Marshall right here coming out with a Lockbaum. It's man-to-man. He's got about a step on him, but Todd Bowles coming over the top, the free safety, and that's a play that he has got to make. He comes from over the top and helps out Wilbur Marshall and makes it cause the incompletion.
Newsom's punt will be received by Eric Yarber. Yarber takes it as 18. Breaks one tackle and is still on his feet across the 20 and the 30 to the 32-yard line. Andy Garcinski coming down on the tackle for the Steelers. And also in on the play was Darren Jordan, the 5th-round pick out of Northeastern. 48-yard punt by Newsom, so he's averaging nearly 48 yards on 3 punts. There you see the $6 million man, Lee Majors and Wilbur Marshall.
And the thing about it, they felt there might be a lot of controversy here in Washington paying him that much money. It's been a really quiet training camp. The players get paid extremely well here in Washington. I'm sure a lot of guys might be renegotiating next year, but very quiet about Wilbur Marshall's contract.
Play handoff to Tim Smith. Tries to get outside the line of scrimmage, but he will lose yardage back to the 30-yard line. Good defensive play that time by Cornell Gowdy, who had run support on the play, and he forced Smith to go deeper into the backfield, and that enabled the Steelers to drop him for a 2-yard loss.
Good team defense all the way down the line for Pittsburgh. Forced him to the sideline, never gave Timmy Smith a chance to come upfield at all, get turned towards the line of scrimmage, and finally the support man on the play, Gowdy, came up and turned it and made the play.
Under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Redskins lead 6-0. Second down and 12, Washington at their 30-yard line. Williams. Gary's after him. Now it's a screen. Kelvin Bryant. Bryant is run out of bounds by Anthony Henton. Let's see where the mark out of bounds is going to be. It's going to be a very short gain. Bring up 3rd down and long for the Redskins. That time the Steelers read the screen pretty well. Anthony Henton missed all of last year with a knee injury. Greg Carr, also the first man to take out one of the blockers on the play to enable Henton to push him out of bounds.
And we're looking right now at Kelvin Bryant. Washington has so many situation players here on their team. He comes in on 3rd down or long situation, out of the backfield trying to catch the football on the screen or a route downfield. Timmy Smith is more the running back on 1st and 2nd down.
3rd and 10 for the Redskins, their own 32. Half rollout by Williams, moving pocket, fires flat, incomplete. Looking for Sanders, the pass thrown too tall. Thomas Everett speeding up on the coverage. Pass that Sanders should have caught, and had he been able to catch, would have been a first down. As it is, it'll force the Redskins to punt, and another rookie will punt, Doug Robeson. He's a free agent out of Stanford. Those two, Robeson and Wayne Ross, trying to beat out Steve Cox for the job. And Lewis Lips is back deep for the Steelers, standing between his 25 and 30-yard line.
This I don't quite understand. In the first preseason game, to put Lewis Lips back there to return punts, you want to look at a lot of different people on special team. And if you need Lewis Lips, you know he can do the job. You play him during the regular season, or if anything, the last preseason game.
It's a great kick by Robeson. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Lips fumbled, and it is still loose. Now, did the Redskins ever get control? I don't think so. No, it is the Steelers' ball. But remember, there's a flag down at the line of scrimmage, and the Redskins may be guilty of having left the line too soon. Yes, the Redskins, an eligible man downfield. They'll force him to kick it over again.
We'll see if Chuck Noll puts Louis Lips back out there. Fumbles the football here, never got control of it. As the ball's bouncing around, no one gets control of the football till it's out of bounds. So it goes to the last team that had possession. And so Washington would take control of the football.
They'll force him to kick over again.
It's too long. It was a great kick. And also with the fumble by Louis Lips, puts the ball back around a 10 or 11-yard line. They'll make him kick this thing over.
Number 60 ineligible, downfield. Re-kick, fourth down.
Well, the Steelers could gain as much as 25 to 30 yards in field position. As it was, they were back inside their 15-yard line. Lewis Lips is not going back to return the punt. Rod Woodson is running out there.
Maybe that is his way of getting off of the punt return team until they really need him by fumbling that ball, because now he's coming back out.
You know, Woodson saw Lips coming out of there, and he started walking on the field. It was like falling off the horse. You got to get right back up again. Johnny Thomas, the defensive back for the Redskins, is the man who was downfield, number 47, that stripped Lips off the football. The 5-yard penalty makes it 4th and 15. And even if Lips handles the ball cleanly, they should gain some 20 yards in field position. Not as good a punt, not nearly. Lips, he'll let it roll. Brian Davis, number 34, covers it. And the ball will be down at the 28-yard line, but that's much better than they would have had without the penalty. 2:17 to play in the first quarter. The Redskins lead it 6-0. A Doug Williams 26-yard touchdown pass to Anthony Allen. The extra point was missed.
You see Louis Lips going to the sideline. He is so valuable to this team this year. He's got to stay healthy, not only for the passing game, because they will double team him, but when he's out there lined up, they cannot gang up on the running game against Pittsburgh.
First down and a short gain out to the 29, perhaps the 30-yard line. We see John Rienstra in the football game for the Steelers. A whole new offensive line. And Merrill Hodge carries for about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Let's set that offensive line for you if we can. Ilkin is still in there, but you've got Brian Blankenship in the game. Webster remains at center. John Rienstra at left guard. Rienstra, you know all about his difficulties with his stomach ulcers. He's in there now for Craig Wolfley. 2nd down and 9, Pittsburgh, their own 29. Brister sets up a screen. A lot of room out there for Merrill Hodge. Hodge has got the first down and plenty more into Redskin territory, and finally knocked out of bounds. Screen nicely set up by the Steelers, and they are in Washington territory.
Would have been so much pressure. The front four of Washington getting to Bubby Brister. You see the guy Butts rushing up the field. A good job by Bubby Brister, making it look like it was a play downfield, dumping it the last minute off for the screen. You see blockers in front of him, Wilbur Marshall getting knocked down, and Hodge doing a good job of running after the blocks.
Nice job by both John Rienstra and Buddy Idolette. You'll see them both come into the picture. Rienstra throws his block, and there's Idolette throwing one on Todd Bowles. That's what you've got to have. We've got a timeout. The Steelers have the football on the Redskins 49-yard line. Brister now 2 out of 9. The injured player on the field is Alvin Walton, the starting strong safety for the Redskins, 3rd-year man out of Kansas. Clarence Vaughn would be in there to replace him. For the Steelers, Lionel Alston remains one of the starting wide receivers, along with Charles Lockett. Hodge Hodge and Stone have been getting most of the work as the running backs the entire first quarter. Danzel Lee, now the tight end. You are now looking at John Rinks, the number 79. What a valuable addition he would be, Jack, if he's able to play, if only for depth's sake.
And the hardest block for an offensive lineman, especially a big lineman like John Rienstra, is an open field trying to knock down a linebacker or a defensive back. The lead guy on the screen, he got out in front of Merrill Hodge, went downfield and put a tremendous block on Wilbur Marshall and knocked him off his feet.
Jay Schrader warming up for the Redskins. He will be the next quarterback in. There's Doug Williams. Well, that's not Doug Williams, sorry, that's Alvin Walton. Joe Gibbs plans to use all 4 quarterbacks tonight, including Mark Ripien and Stan Humphries. 1st and 10, Steelers. Deep drop, circle in pattern to the tight end, Danzel Lee. Gain of 3 to the 46-yard line. Monty Coleman makes the tackle. Brister with a completion to Danzel Lee, who started his career with the Redskins, was here on the injured reserve list for a year. The second year he's with the club, they cut him. The Steelers picked him up during the strike last year, stayed with the team the rest of the way, and now making a legitimate battle to make the team. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Ball just outside the 45-yard line. Alston comes to the near side. Lockett on the far side. Hodge. He'll lose the yardage they gained on the pass to Danzel Lee. Wilbur Marshall shooting the gap, but it was Neil Olkowitz who took advantage of Marshall occupying the blocker to make the tackle. Free safety Todd Bowles also there. The loss put the Steelers in 3rd and long.
You see right now Washington come up with the safety blitz, the safety coming up, the corner backing off on man-to-man coverage. When you have that kind of, they ran right into the play. It was also very lucky by Washington, blitzing right in the hole the way the running back was coming on the play and ran right into the running back.
3rd down and 9. 3 wide receivers for the Steelers. Brister in trouble. Hamill chases him. He throws, and it is caught for a 1st down. Nice catch by Charles Lockett. Made the leaping grab with tight coverage all over him. Made the grab, kept his feet in bounds, beats Dennis Woodbury the corner, and gives the Steelers a 1st down.
This is what you're going to see from the offense the entire season. Lockett going down, well covered on the play. Now is when Brister is scrambling outside the pocket. He raises his hand so Brister can see him, throws the football, and he makes a good catch for the 1st down. You see again right now, Brister starting to get some pressure up the middle. Got out of the pocket a little bit quick now, but cut to the outside, and a good throw on the run, throwing across his body to Lockett.
Brister wants to throw on 1st down. A throwback screen to Danzel Lee. Lee to the 30. Lee to the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. The throwback screen as Brister came to the near side and threw back to the tight end Danzel Lee. We haven't seen that since the days of Benny Cunningham. And that is the end of the first quarter of play. The Steelers will have the ball deep in Washington territory. That's the end of the first quarter. The score: the Redskins 6, the Steelers nothing.
Try it like that. That's good. That's bad.
Sorry, Mr. Green. Uh-oh.
Now I'm going to throw the book at you.
The Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages?
Look under G.
Yeah, for grounded.
No, for glass companies.
Look at all of them. This one has same-day service.
I'll call. You work on your arm.
My passing?
You're sweeping.
The Bell of Pennsylvania Yellow Pages. The one that works. Bell of Pennsylvania, a Bell Atlantic company.
When your special dream needs a special financial performance, come to Pittsburgh National. We'll give you more loan choices than any other bank in town. Pride in performance. We built a bank on it. Pittsburgh National.
Hot dog, please? Well, mustard on that or what? No, thanks. I got it covered.
Heinz ketchup. It's so rich, so thick. Why waste time with anything else? Heinz. The best things come to those who wait.
Steelers have the edge in total yardage, although the Redskins got 80 of their 87 yards on one drive. They had the lone touchdown of the game. Jack, aside from the throwback screen we just saw, and aside from the rollouts they put in for Bubby Brister, have you seen any evidence of Dwayne Painter's influence? They were supposed to revamp the offense with him there.
I talked to some of the coaches today. They haven't changed the offense all that much, other than the fact that when they've practiced up at training camp, Bubby Brister rolling out outside of containment and what the receivers will do downfield.
Brister's 5 out of 12. Rolling out, he's got room to run, but he decides to throw, and the pass is incomplete. He was looking for Merrill Hodge out of the backfield, a little fullback flare. But by the time Hodge was able to catch the ball, he was too near the sideline. Brister now 5 out of 13. The Steelers with a second down and 10 at the Redskin 15-yard line, just underway, second quarter.
And that rollout or bootleg at that time was just a sprint out right by Bubby Brister. You're going to see a lot of that from that Steeler offense the entire season. That's one of the assets that Bubby Brister has, throwing the football on the run that time. He could have run with the football. Maybe a judgment would have been turn up and take that ball and go out of bounds and make some good yardage, but try to get the ball into Hodge, and he couldn't keep his feet in bounds.
Greg Wolfley back in at left guard for John Ringstra. Second down and 10. Brister straight drop blitz. Throwing in the corner of the end zone, it is incomplete. He was forced to throw off his back foot. Lockett could not get back to the ball. Credit the Redskin rush with ruining the pass pattern.
A lot of teams, when they scout Pittsburgh now, what they're going to try to do is bring people off the corner to make Bubby Brister pull up, keep him inside that pocket. He can't get outside because he's going to make big plays when he gets outside that containment. The receiver's breaking downfield. So defense will start bringing people off the corner or the defensive end rushing up the field to make Bubby Brister pull up.
Third down and 10. The Steelers are 2 out of 6 on third down conversion. Joey Klingscale's in the game as the third wide receiver. Brister over the middle, and it is caught for a first down at the 3-yard line. The pass complete to Gordy Lockbaum out of the backfield. And the rookie from Holy Cross, who almost caught one earlier, picks up a nice 13-yard reception. The Steelers have it first and goal.
Just man-to-man coverage. Gordy Lockbaum coming out, just running an in route. And this is a good throw by Bubby Brister in between a couple of people. Dick Hoke said that Gordy Lockbaum has a feel of the passing game. He knows how to get open in those open areas. See good protection. Look at the pockets for Bubby Brister all the time in the world and gets the football right. He just sits down in that dead area. He doesn't run to get covered and made the catch for a first down.
That's a nice throw by Brister right on the break. First and goal just outside the 2. Merrill Hodge stopped at the 1. It'll be second down and goal.
And this is also where Bubby Brister's running ability can really help, getting outside. A lot of people on goal line. You got people in the middle just trying to come off the football. A lot of times he can fake it in there, go to the outside, and he's got good quickness, can turn the corner himself to try to get the touchdown.
Jack, would you want to show this in a preseason game, though, the bootleg?
Well, I think you want to get the confidence of Bubby Brister. You're going to show some play, show a lot of plays, so people, when they have to scout you, when you play Pittsburgh, they got a big game plan. Here's a rollout.
Brister throws, touchdown Steelers. The pass complete to tight end Mike Hinnant, the rookie from Temple. As Brister strung it out to the sideline, he almost stepped out of bounds, fired it on the run, and there was the rookie tight end, Mike Hinnant from Temple.
One thing about Bubby Brister this year, he's going to be exciting. You see him rolling out, he gets out to contain him. Here comes Todd Bowles trying to make the play, does not contain him, doesn't know the speed. Boy, he's one step from being out of bounds, throwing across his body for Mike Hinnant, who makes the catch, and Hinnant is really known for his blocking ability, not his receiving.
Gary Anderson has made 174 extra points regular season in a row, adds one here, and the Steelers have the lead. Bubby Brister, the touchdown pass, and the Steelers take the lead over the Redskins. 13-10 to play in the first half. We've got a timeout. The score, the Steelers 7, the Redskins 6. We'll be back in a moment.
Pittsburgh is a sports town. You see it in the street. And everyone who is a fan is everyone you meet. 'Cause you can't, no you can't, no you can't keep it Iron Man down. Paper cheese, don't go broke, 'cause you can't keep an Iron Man down.
scoops. It snaps. It steams. And it cracks. It's the fresh seafood you'll find at Haas's. It flakes. It bubbles. It drips. And it sizzles. It's the fresh seafood you'll love at Haas's. It's fresh. It's broiled. It's seafood. It's Haas's. It's cold water seafood as good as can be. At Haas's Steak and Sea.
Midnight Run's the best new movie in years, says the San Francisco Chronicle. A non-stop belly full of laughs, says Jeffrey Lyons.
I can't do this!
De Niro and Grodin are terrific. And Roger Ebert calls it completely original, a real surprise.
Grodin is better than Eddie Murphy, and for me, that's good.
This better be good.
This is very good.
One word?
One word and you're dead.
Fabulous. Midnight Run, rated R. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Bubby Brister engineers a 72-yard touchdown drive, and here was the touchdown play. A 2-yard pass from Brister on the rollout to rookie tight end Mike Hinnant.
You see a design rollout trying to get outside of containment, and he just outlegs Todd Bowles to buy some extra time and just gets his foot up in the air before he goes out of bounds. And just another impromptu play by Bubby Brister. Mike Hinnant was not the primary receiver on the play. Bubby Brister's athletic ability made it all happen.
A familiar name will receive this kickoff. Jamie Morris, the rookie from Michigan, takes it at the 1. And a pretty good job by the Steelers special teams. They stop Morris near the 20-yard line. Jack, you were mentioning this is not exactly an offense designed by Chuck Noll. He likes that tackle with the traps, but he's obviously said, look, we got to make use of the personnel we have.
You got to put the people in, give them the offense. It'll work extremely well. Bubby Brister is a guy that's going to make big plays for you. You know, the offense may look bad at times, then he'll make a big play. He's that type of quarterback. But you're right, Chuck Noll on the side, he used to that inside trapping game, the tackle trap, and then throwing the football when you have to, and he must just be cringing on the sidelines.
Jay Schrader is the new Redskin quarterback. We presume that Doug Williams will not come back the rest of the evening. Flag down, pass complete to Sanders. And it'll be very near a first down, but again, a flag is down as Rod Woodson, number 26, is now in there at the left corner. Penalty's going to go against the Redskins. There's the Steeler drive, 12 plays, 72 yards, and Brister with a touchdown pass to Mike Hinnant.
When it ended up on the first play, Hodge was stopped for no gain. You got second down and goal from the 2-yard line. You're trying to gang up against that Pittsburgh running game inside, that tough, hard running game. You got Bubby Brister rolling out there. It puts so much pressure on a defensive line to try to contain that type of quarterback, because you got to contain him first and then rush the passer, and that'll give Bubby Brister a little bit more time to throw the ball.
So the 5-yard penalty on the Redskins moves it back to the 15, first and 15. Over the middle, intercepted by Tyrone Snow. Tyrone Snow, touchdown Steelers. The pass bounced off the hands or shoulder pads of the intended receiver, tight end Terry Orr. Tyrone Snow, first-year man out of Rutgers, returns it for the touchdown. A 20-yard return.
Jay Schrader comes in the game, puts the ball right on the money. You see Terry Orr coming out here, little quick hitch pattern. The ball was to a little bit outside to his right, just bounces up off his arm, up in the air, and an easy interception for Tyrone Stowe, and just goes into the end zone untouched.
Gary Anderson, who just came off the bench to kick an extra point, will try another one. Andy Garzinski, rookie from Temple, is holding. Anderson's kick is good, and so the Steelers, in the space of less than 30 seconds, have scored 2 touchdowns, 1 offense, 1 defense. Still 12:49 to play in the first half. We've got a timeout on the field. The score, the Steelers 14, the Redskins 6, and we'll be back in a moment.
What does a 6-foot, 220-pound man of iron drink?
Anything he wants.
But undisputed heavyweight champion Mike Tyson chooses Diet Pepsi.
Hey, Diet Pepsi's a champion, too.
Recently, Diet Pepsi challenged and decisively beat the taste of Diet Coke.
Step into the ring. Taste for yourself.
Hey, champ, let's get the lead out.
Yes, dear.
Diet Pepsi, the undisputed champion.
Steelers scored 2 touchdowns in 21 seconds, and this goes to prove that if you're not afraid of birds, you just keep your eyes open when you look up. You're liable to find a football.
Well, this is just a case of Jay Schrader just a little bit too quick in delivering the football. It's a very safe pass play. He doesn't give a chance for the receiver or to turn around, or just bounces it up in the air for an easy interception and touchdown by Stowe.
Gary Anderson the kickoff, and once again, Jamie Morris, he's at the 7. He gets out to the 25, so Steelers do again a pretty good job of closing the gap. And the Redskins will start out 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Down on the special teams for the Steelers, Mike Hinnant, who just caught the touchdown pass, and Robin Cole. That pass to the tight end Orr was a lot like what Brister and Dwight Stone misconnected on a couple series ago.
Well, that was when Stone was out. There was a short pass that was man-to-man coverage. That time, Jay Schrader just gets in the game. He's very anxious, wants to get his first completion, and just rushed to throw way too early. Should have just waited a split second.
Play fake. And Schrader's looking deep. Got a man open and overthrown. Looking deep for Ricky Sanders. And Sanders was open, all right. The pass just a little bit too tall by Jay Schrader. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Nothing more than a few fast heartbeats for Steelers secondary players.
All the wide receivers in Washington have that extra burst right here, just a quick post on a play, and all of a sudden he gets it into overdrive right here, and just over his outstretched hand. Schrader usually throws a deep bomb better than anything else in his arsenal, and I think that's the reason the quarterbacks that Washington have, Schrader, Doug Williams, also Mark Ripien, the 3rd-team quarterback, are a good reason why they've got a good chance to repeat as Super Bowl champions.
It was Greg Lee and Larry Griffin who were near burn patients on that one. 2nd down, pass complete in the flat. The hitch pattern again successful to Anthony Allen. Rod Woodson comes up to make the tackle. It'll be shy of the 1st down, bring up 3rd down, and about 2 yards for the 1st down. Schrader has made it known he wants to be traded. He also has made it known that he wants to be at least considered for the starting quarterback job. I think it's pretty safe to say that they're going to start with Doug Williams. Although I've always felt, Jack, that the Redskins were not totally sold on Doug Williams, and that they know that he could go south, and that they better keep Schrader around. That's why they're not anxious to trade him.
Well, the whole year last year, they were flip-flopping quarterbacks until Doug Williams took control late in the season in the Minnesota game. And I think they'll make Jay Schrader very happy, making $900,000 a year.
3rd down and 2. And the pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage, I think, by Gerald Williams. Nevertheless, it is incomplete and brings up 4th down and 2 in a punting situation for the Redskins.
Gerald Williams, a lot of defensive linemen are hurt to see him, but Gerald Williams is one guy Joe Green wants to take a hard look at. With Gary Dunn having both knees orthoscopic surgery in the off-season, you need 2 people in that defensive line, nose tackle position. And here you see him coming upfield now, trying to get pressure on the quarterback. Pretty good job there by Mark May, keeping him to the outside and away from Jay Schrader.
Ross to punt again for Washington. Good rush by the Steelers, and a short kick by Ross as he responds to the pressure put in by the Steeler punt rush, and the ball rolls out of bounds up at the Steeler 37-yard line. So pretty good field position for Pittsburgh. Coming up at halftime, we are going to pay tribute to our partner here, Jack Ham. He will show you what it was like in Canton, Ohio last Saturday. Myron Cope from the Steeler Radio Network will join us. And Lynn Cullen is going to take a look back at the old-timers game at Three Rivers against the Dallas Cowboys last Saturday. 1st and 10. The Steelers, their own 38-yard line. This is Warren Williams, the rookie from Miami, 6th-round draft choice. Makes a nice run across the 45 and out to the 47-yard line. Inside linebacker Kurt Govea makes the tackle. He's a 2nd-year man out of Brigham Young. Steeler running back coaches, I know you talked to Dick Hoke, Jack. They really like Warren Williams, tough customer.
You know, he's a very quiet, unassuming type guy. And he was like in the back of the line in most of the drills in training camp. But the more he got comfortable, the better he played. Runs a little bit upright. But he and Melvin Bratt in that Miami offense in last year, he was a leading rusher for the last 2 years. So he's an outstanding runner. They're giving him a long look this evening.
Hodge and Williams, the running backs. Merrill Hodge behind John Reenstra. Hodge is able to turn the corner, and he's got the 1st down in Washington territory. Rienstra was out ahead. Merrill Hodge picks up the first down. Johnny Thomas, first-year cornerback out of Baylor, makes the tackle.
And they talked about Hodge coming back, being a lot tougher, bigger, putting on 15 or 18 pounds, but he hasn't lost his quickness. From that fullback position, he was able to turn the corner and got the block from Rienstra and also got the first down. So he didn't lose any quickness by putting on that extra bulk.
Also in the game for the first time is Mark Zeno. He's the 7th-round pick out of Tulane, led the NCAA in receptions. 1st and 10, the Steelers at the Redskin 49-yard line. They lead 14-6. 10 minutes, 53 seconds to play in the first half. Clinkscales near side. This is Warren Williams trying to sweep. He's got Rienstra ahead. Beats one tackler and gets to the 45-yard line. Rienstra probably should have taken the first man he saw, Gouveia. He decided to pass him up. Gouveia made the hit, knocked Williams down, but Williams still is able to get a 4-yard gain. 2nd and 6. Clarence Vaughn gets credit for the tackle.
Oh, Clarence Vaughn came in between 2 or 3 offensive linemen. I'm sure Chuck Nolan reviews the film. I mean, he said, you guys are real great running out there, but knock somebody down. Well, that's your job, the offensive lineman. Vaughn came right through and made the play and knocked Williams down.
Williams got 11 yards on 2 carries thus far. It is 2nd down, 6 for the Steelers. Brister looks like he's calling an audible at the line of scrimmage. Bubby throwing on the run. The fly pattern deep and out of bounds. Looking over there for Zeno, who's very tall, by the way, 6'4½". But pretty good coverage over there by the rookie Johnny Thomas. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Mark Zeno, the type of receiver, doesn't have that great blazing speed. It's going to burn you up the field. Good intermediate receiver. Would like to use him in that slot when they get man-to-man coverage. Knows how to work himself free. That time, again, trying to run the pattern downfield. Good coverage by Washington.
Now the Steelers will go with a 3 wide receiver set. There is Zeno, Lockett, and Clinkscales also in the game. And Gordy Lockbaum, who caught a big pass for first down. He's the wing left. You see him there, number 17. 3rd and 6. Outside blitz. Brisker fires wide open, and it is caught for a first down by Clinkscales. On his feet to the 20. Joey Clinkscales knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Brian Davis hanging on for dear life as Clinkscales beat a tackle about the 20. He takes it down deep into the Redskin territory.
And as game is progressing, Bubby Brister's getting a lot more confident back there at quarterback. It starts with the protection. He gets great protection right here. And delivers the ball on the line to Clinkscales, stays in bounds, turns it upfield. That's what you got to do as a receiver, make yardage after the catch. And he does just that, almost getting into the end zone.
We're going to mark it at the 9-yard line. 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. But you see so much of that from the Redskins. Little slant pattern, and all of a sudden those guys turn an 8-yard gain into a 30-yard gain.
Keep throwing a little hitch pattern, all of a sudden you break on a man-to-man coverage, you break a tackle, you can go a long way.
As Brister came to the line of scrimmage, they were a bit confused on what they wanted to do. So he'll come over to Tom Moore, who's been signaling in the plays, as the Steelers use their first timeout. 9:53 to play in the first half. The Steelers lead it 14-6, and we'll be back in just a moment. .53 to play in the first half. The Steelers with a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line, already leading 14-6. The Steelers scoring on a touchdown pass of 2 yards from Brister to tight end Mike Hinnant. And then on the ensuing series for Washington, an interception by linebacker Tyrone Stowe, returned to 20 yards for a touchdown. There you see Bubby's stats, 8 out of 18, 120 yards. I'm going to tell a story about Bubby. The other day at Latrobe, he threw a long touchdown pass to Ouija Thompson in a scrimmage, walked over to the sideline and said to the assembled media, duck soup. Bubby is not lacking for confidence.
No, I think he came back this year with an attitude that he felt he was going to be the #1 quarterback this year. Mark Malone was gone. He was not fighting him for the job. And he felt very confident that Todd Blackledge will be the backup quarterback. So I think as his game has progressed after the first couple of series, he's got a couple of completions. I think he's playing with a lot more confidence here in the second quarter.
Rookie John Jackson is in the left tackle, number 65. 1st and goal. Brister in trouble. Fires on the run. It is caught on the flat by Warren Williams. Williams fighting his way down to the 2-yard line. Again, a good job by Brister making something out of nothing.
Stan, another quarterback in this league, he's down on the ground back around the 20-yard line. Here you see Tom Moore Here's a replay of Bubby Brister right now. See the pressure from the linebacker right up the middle. He just gets out of the way using his quickness. And I'll tell you, Warren Williams does a good job here making a catch and yardage after the run. He's run hard here in the second quarter, can catch the football. Here's Bubby again looking downfield, just getting away from pressure. That's just athletic ability and getting the ball at the last second out to Williams.
Mark Zeno does a good job throwing a block. Second down and goal from just outside the 1. Double tight end. And diving into the end zone for the touchdown is Warren Williams. Williams, who made the nice reception to get the ball down to the 1-yard line, charges in, and the Steelers have scored 3 second-quarter touchdowns to lead 20-6.
Well, just a good surge, and see how low Warren Williams is in getting into the end zone. That's a good short yardage runner down on the 1-yard line. He's caught the ball well and ran the ball well. Look how low he is right now, just almost stumbling into the end zone for the touchdown.
Anderson on to attempt the extra point. Rookie Andy Garzinski with a hold, and Anderson's kick is perfect. He's 3 for 3, and the Steelers are 3 for 3 the last 3 times they've had the ball in the second quarter, leading 21-6. Still 9:03 to play in the first half. Well, this is a fine how do you do for Wilber Marshall, playing his first game as a Washington Redskin.
Wilbur looks a little bit tired coming off that field. It's a hot, humid evening down here in Washington, like it always is here in the summer. And there's Joe Gibbs, who does not look very happy the way his team has played here in the first half. Made some mistakes. Our offense gave up a touchdown. And I'll tell you, Pittsburgh with Bubby Brister looks better and better as this game progresses.
And Tom Moore, as we mentioned earlier, is going to be calling in the plays this year from the sideline with hand signals to Bubby Brister. Now, Jack, what does all this mean?
Okay, first of all, you'll see him. He'll touch a part of his body. His hand signal right now as he touches his head and his throat is giving the number of the play and then the formation. He's using his hands and his feet there to call the formation to Bubby Brister.
In other words, each part of his body is a number.
And also, and as the season goes on, there'll be a dummy call as well. One of the guys, either his backup quarterback, will also be live, and he may give the signals as well, so you cannot steal the signals from someone else. And he goes to his head initially. That's the number of the play, or any part of his body. Then his arms tell the formation and the play itself.
61 yards in 7 plays. The Warren Williams touchdown run. Set up really, though, by Joey Klingscale's nice reception. And the Steelers have a 21-6 lead. Bobby Dawson made the tackle on the kickoff of Jamie Morris. Well, the Redskins with Jay Schrader at the quarterback starting out at their own 21-yard line. This is Kelvin Bryant. Not much running room. About 3 yards to the 25. Greg Carr and Tyrone Stowe, the 2 inside linebackers, making the tackle for the Steelers. Carr played so well, Jack, in the special defenses they designed last year. Do you think that he's big enough to play inside in this league?
He's a situation type player. He's not big enough to take on people all day long. I'm sure he'll bring him in those kind of situations and just let him play on 3rd down and also rushing the passer.
2nd down, nearly 7 for the Redskins, their own 25-yard line. This is Kelvin Bryant again, picking his way and not finding much room. A yard to the 27. Good play by Tyrone Stowe. Tried to put the move on him. And Cornell Gowdy also penetrated the line of scrimmage to make a hit. So it'll be 3rd down for the Redskins and 5.
The way you get Chuck notices is you make big plays. Tyrone Stowe has already had a touchdown on a deflected interception, and now just going to the football and filling on the play. Just trying to feel his way through there, get through the traffic and the blockers, and he came up with a good tackle inside. And I'll tell you one thing, he has played extremely well on offense, Warren Williams has also played extremely well.
Cornell Gowdy took on tackle Ed Simmons, who weighs 300 pounds. Now Schrader on the roll out of his own. The pass thrown to the near sideline, and it's going to be a completion, and good for a Redskin 1st down. Tough reception by Eric Yarber. Had a man in his face, had to fight the sideline. He's a little guy, as you can see. He is a 2nd or 3rd year man out of Idaho. Good catch. And Tolbert Bain, rookie free agent out of Miami, a safety, made the tackle. We want to clear something up. That is Al Williams, number 99. Was not listed by the Steelers on the roster. He's a linebacker, also plays some defensive end. Al Williams, 99. Gerald Williams, still wearing number 98. And the Steelers are so short on the defensive line, when they go to a four-man front, they're actually having to put some linebackers on the line of scrimmage.
I'm sure in all the injuries they have right now, a lot of guys are just nicked up. They feel a lot of those guys will be back. None of the injuries up at training camp are that severe. They're going to keep people out a long period of time. I'm sure Chuck Noll will take those injuries right now, and in a couple of weeks or so, a lot of those defensive linemen will be back. But Gerald Williams, the nose tackle, is one guy they want to take a hard, long look at because he needed to spell Gary Dunn.
Darren Jordan in there at outside linebacker. Rod Woodson left corner. Schrader, a little flare to Kelvin Bryant. Looks for a blocker. Does not find when the Steelers flow well to the football and stop Bryant after just a 3-yard gain on the completion from Jay Schrader. Nice job of flowing to the football that time by Greg Carr and Rod Woodson. Greg Lloyd also over there, and he's playing the opposite side of the field.
And also, Kelvin Bryant knows he is a situation player. He does not run hard with the football. He likes to come in the backfield on third down and long and run those routes upfield. He just does not run with the authority he did in the USFL when he made a lot of yardage. And he's coming here, he's just a situation player, and he knows his role.
2nd down and 7. Washington, their own 37. Steelers lead 21-6. Schrader, pass complete. That'll be good for another first down inside Steeler territory. Tyrone Stowe and Anthony Hedden making the tackle.
We see Craig McAllen coming out of the backfield. He's catching a little bit of hitch pattern, coming across the middle, going against the grain, just turning upfield when he gets that opening and gets the first down. Those are the type of players that the Redskins have had over the years, and his hitch pattern, his short hitch out of the backfield is another way to get a first down.
Greg McEwen, a second-year man out of Utah, another guy whom they gave a new jersey to, and didn't tell me that's not allowed. He was wearing number 98 as of 7:30. First down for the Redskins, Steeler 49, pass overthrown. On the slant pattern for Ricky Sanders, but Rod Woodson was right there with him. And I know, Jack, you were up at training camp this week, and the coaches just love the way Rod Woodson closes on the football.
They say he's got the greatest burst of any defensive back that ever came down in the Latrobe. And he can beat on a play. Right now, it's a quick inside route by Chandler. You see Rod Woodson coming over the top, and he's so big and so strong. His closing speed, Darrell Green beat him in the NFL's fastest player by about 2 or 3 yards, but Darrell Green is a world-class sprinter.
Darren Chandler, rookie free agent on the Georgia Southern, the intended receiver. 2nd down and 10 for Schrader. The pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. The second time the Steelers have managed to do that. And that, I believe, was Gerald Williams who knocked that pass down.
Gerald Williams will get credit for batting the ball down, but he was at the line of scrimmage when he did it. You'd like your defensive lineman to get pressure on the quarterback. You don't want to be deflecting balls right at the line of scrimmage, meaning you got no pass rush at all, no pressure on the quarterback. He just jumped up in the air about the 49-yard line and knocked the ball down.
No, he was protected against the draw on the middle screen.
Joe Green will not be too happy with that pass rush by Gerald Williams on that play.
Schrader now 4 out of 9, 32 yards, been picked off once. That returned for a touchdown. 3rd down and 10. The Redskins only converted once on 3rd down. Schrader on the rollout. Williams after him, firing deep down the field, and it is overthrown. That time, very good coverage offered by Larry Griffin on Eric Yarber. Here's Al Williams and Jay Schrader getting into it. Schrader knows well enough you don't get in arguments with linebackers.
Well, the Pittsburgh offense and the Redskin offense look like mirror images of each other. Guys rolling out all the time. Schrader rolling right, this time rolling left and trying to go downfield deep. Larry Griffin had tremendous one-on-one coverage downfield. There was no place for Schrader to get the completion.
So Schrader, 4 out of 10, has yet to lead the Redskins anywhere. And this is the incumbent punter, Steve Cox, 8-year veteran out of Arkansas. And Lewis Lips continues to do his penance. He has to return the punt again. Steelers with an all-out rush. Don't quite get there. Lips calls fair catch at the 16-yard line. Now, when you have a punt rush like that, the punt returner is instructed to automatically call for the fair catch because he has no blocking. So with 5:41 to play in the first half, the Steelers will take over at their own 16-yard line. 33-yard punt, obviously, no return. And coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at Jack's induction to the Hall of Fame. That was less than a week ago in Canton, Ohio. Myron Cope will have some comments. Lynn Cullen has a hard-hitting report, so to speak, on the Steelers-Cowboys old-timers game last Saturday night at Three Rivers. David Clark is in the backfield. First-year man out of Penn State. Warren Williams in motion. This is David Clark. trying to get to the 20-yard line. He'll be about a yard shy at the 19. Wilbur Marshall made the tackle. Clark was the backup to D.J. Dozier at Penn State. He was a situation runner, short yardage runner, trying to make the Steelers. He was with the Buffalo Bills last year, was cut in camp, and is getting a free agent tryout here. That's Big John Jackson you're looking at, number 65, the 10th round pick out of Eastern Kentucky, where he played, of course, with Aaron Jones. Bubby, 9 out of 19. 1 touchdown pass. 2nd down, 7. Jerry Quick is now the center. We'll set that line for you. Draw play, David Clark, got a lot of room. Clark 30, 40. Clark's up to the 45-yard line. David Clark picking up 26 yards and a Steeler first down before Kurt Govea finally brought him down. Jack, what happened there to the Redskin defense?
There was an adjustment made when in motion. You'll see Wilbur Marshall stack inside now. All of a sudden, just a delay. Wilbur Marshall flies out of there. A good call by, well, Tom Moore or Chuck Nolan to play right up the middle. The influence takes Wilbur Marshall out of the middle after the motion man went the opposite way. And he just runs himself out of the play completely, and it goes for a big gainer.
And a good turnout block by Brian Blankenship, number 60, the right guard. Bootleg. Brister fakes the throw, and he'll get dragged down, a couple-yard gain.
Somebody made Wilbur Marshall mad. When you fool him on a play like that, look out the next time. They contained Bubby Brister that time, would not let him get outside, and then they got all the pressure from Wilbur Marshall and company.
I thought it was a designed bootleg, and indeed it was, but it was a pass off the bootleg instead of the pure run. Marshall there, along with Mel Kaufman. It is a gain of a couple, 2nd down and 8. The clock running, 3:45 to play in the first half.
What's kind of an influence play? They're trying to influence the defensive end, so he takes himself out of the play, outside the containment, and Bubby Brister can get outside. He was not fooled on a play because he's been sprinting outside so many times here in the first half.
I think Marshall influenced Brister not to try that again. 2nd down and 8. The big rush. Warren Williams. Warren Williams is gone for a touchdown. They caught him in the blitz, and Warren Williams right out of the backfield. He read it. Bubby Brister read it. Brister's going nuts backfield, and the Steelers have scored again.
Not too many times you take advantage of a guy like Wilbur Marshall on the play. That time Williams has been involved in Miami with a pass offense. You see Wilbur Marshall coming clean. The free safety is supposed to pick up Warren Williams. He's not there on the middle linebacker, is not there on the play. And Warren Williams, we talked about all the other running backs, Hodge and Stone. I think he has been the star so far here in the first half.
You know, the important thing is, of course, he caught the ball, but I think anyone would have. But he read the blitz, and he went immediately on his route, and that's what set up the touchdown. Anderson perfect on the extra point, and the Steelers have scored 4 touchdowns in 10 minutes time and lead 28-6, 3:22 to play in the first half.
Here's the blitz. It's Kurt Govea, the inside linebacker who has the coverage. Marshall's coming on the play. He's coming clean. Govea, the inside linebacker, has got to make the play on Warren Williams, and Warren Williams, an outstanding receiver out of the backfield, turned back immediately and made the catch.
Bubby Brister now 10 out of 20, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was a 54-yard touchdown.
And Stan,
pass and run.
Stan, the key to that thing is as soon as he sees Wilbur Marshall blitzing, he's got to turn back, and Bubby Brister and Warren Williams have got to be on the same page and deliver the ball to him in a hurry before the linebacker has time to come over and cover on the play. They both read it perfectly, were on the same page, and resulted in a touchdown.
It seems to me also, Jack, that aside from Warren Williams' abilities that he displayed at Miami, since the Steelers have now gone to this type of offense, that's going to serve Warren Williams very well. He played in the same kind of thing at Miami.
Well, he's the type of guy, same thing as Gordy Lockbaum. Those guys have a feel for the passing game. A lot of other guys coming into training camp who played on different types of offense have got to learn it all over again, the passing game, which they really don't know anything about. University of Miami has a big league passing game. It's a pro-style passing attack, and they have a lot of that mental part of it already in before they get here.
Gary Anderson with a kick. Jamie Morris, he's driven deep into his own end zone and out of the end zone. A great kick by Gary Anderson. And the Redskins will start out from their own 20-yard line with 3:16 to play in the first half. The last scoring drive by the Steelers, their longest of the evening, that 84 yards, just 4 plays. Brister to Warren Williams, 54-yard touchdown pass. Williams with 2 touchdowns now, and Bubby Brister with 2 touchdown passes.
And it's just football sense. That's just knowing what to do out there. It's instinctive. You know to turn back immediately. A split second late, that ball bounces off Warren Williams and goes for an incomplete pass. He turned back immediately and got the football. And I'll tell you, Bubby Brister is playing better and better and gaining more confidence as this game goes on.
Would you think that Noel would want to keep him in the third quarter since he's on a roll?
I think he's going to give him the first half, and I think that's enough. It's all he wanted to see from Bubby Brister. I think Todd Blackledge will play the second half.
Schrader, who's 4 out of 11, fires in the flat, and the pass is caught and intercepted by the Steelers. Greg Lloyd comes up with the interception on the far sideline. Well, Schrader's intercepted again, and neither time really it was his fault.
I'm not sure if he stripped the ball carrier or came up off the deflection. It's on the far side of the field, but that's Pittsburgh's secondary and linebackers are coming up with a lot of big plays here. And Jay Schrader, I'll tell you what, he came in and tried to get a good game and gain some confidence. Here's Lloyd on the coverage on the outside. It looks like the ball just bounced. It bounces off of Calvin Bryant's leg, and he's trailing on the play, and Lloyd just came up with the deflection and the interception.
Well, the Steelers have a chance to really sock it away on the Redskin 27-yard line. First down and 10. Zeno in motion. Delay handoff. David Clark. Clark up the middle. And Clark inside the 20 and down to the 15-yard line. And a Steeler first down. Clarence Vaughn made the tackle, but the 2 rookie running backs, Clark had a big run on the last drive. Williams, of course, caught the touchdown pass. And now Clark picks up 12 and a first down.
And I'll tell you, Bubby Brister is pumped up. He's trying to get the signals from Tom Moore as quickly as the play is over. Running to the sideline, and Tom Moore is going to do all these charades, whatever, and trying to give him the signals in for the next play, and he just cannot wait to get that next call.
David Clark, nearly 40 yards on 2 carries. This is Clark again. Looks for a block outside. He'll lose some of those 40 yards. He's knocked back to the 17, a loss of 2. It'll be second down and 12. Clark now 4 carries and 37 yards. Mel Kaufman and Clarence Vaughn makes the tackle, and that should be the last play before we reach the 2-minute warning. When we do return, the Steelers have it second down and 12. But they do lead at 28-6 in an absolute second quarter explosion, and certainly a chance to add some more. We have reached the 2-minute warning. So with that timeout on the field, the score, the Steelers 28, the Redskins 6. We'll be back in just a moment. Two minutes to play in the first half. The Steelers lead 28-6 and have a chance to add more. Another big sporting event going on in western Pennsylvania, that at Three River Stadium. The Mets lead the Buccos 3-1 in the 7th inning. Keith Hernandez, who just came off the disabled list today, has hit a 2-run homer in the 7th inning to give the Mets the lead, 3-1. Mets over the Pirates in the 7th. Of course, the Pirates enter this big 4-game series, 4 games behind New York.
Was a tough break because Keith Hernandez had that bad hamstring. I think he re-injured his hamstring, been out about a month or month and a half, and to come back. I saw where he was taking batting practice and his timing was already back. He felt he could hit the ball well and to make a 2-run homer.
It's kind of like being out of the school sick, and while you're gone, your regular teacher's sick, and the other kid's got the substitute for a week. You come back, and so does the regular teacher. Hernandez is a very important element to that Met ball club. Second down and 12. Steelers are Redskins 17 at the 2-minute mark. Jerry Quick is the center. Jim Boyle in there at left guard. Safety blitz. Brister throws, and it is behind the intended receiver, Joey Clinkscales. Again, with the safety blitz, Brister read it. Clinkscales did too, but the pass just was not there. That'll bring up third down and 12.
The slant pattern, especially with a blitz by the free safety, it's such a timing route. And try to get that ball so that Clinkscales can get the football in stride, coming towards the post, towards the line, inside towards the line of scrimmage. The ball just a little bit behind that time. I'm sure that timing is something they'll work on at the training camp to make sure that Brister and Clinkscales are on the same page.
Third and 12 of the 17. Gordy Lockbaum is in the ball game. Watch him. Good third down receiver. And the delayed draw doesn't fool anyone. Back to the line of scrimmage, perhaps, if that is Merrill Hodge. Darrell Grant was not fooled, never left his position. And that'll bring on Gary Anderson in the field goal unit. Anderson will attempt his first field goal of the game. And the Redskins may call a timeout to have as much time to come back as possible. There's Darryl Grant.
Well, Grant coming inside, that's his responsibility. The Redskins playing man-to-man coverage. Pittsburgh knowing that. They're predominantly man-to-man, trying to cross them up on third down and try to get a big play with Hodge on the inside running play. And Grant, the old veteran, was not fooled at all.
The Redskins do utilize one of their timeouts to save some time on the clock, so they will have about a minute and a half to try to get something done when they get the kickoff, assuming Anderson makes the field goal. The Redskins will have only one timeout left. Anderson 4 for 4 on field goal attempts, or rather extra points tonight. He is the second leading kicker in field goal accuracy in the NFL. Only Morton Anderson of the New Orleans Saints has a better field goal percentage in his career.
And we got a new holder. Andy Garzinski is back there holding for Gary Anderson. And Juju Harry Newsom, they got Garzinski, a rookie, back there right now.
This will be a 34-yard attempt. Anderson's kick is up, and it is good. Well, Gary Anderson, a little frosting on the first half cake. 34-yard field goal, and the Steelers up their lead to 31-6.
It's got to be a great feeling for Gary Anderson coming to training camp at Latrobe. Nobody challenging him for his job. Everybody else is fighting for their lives out there. The linebackers and offensive linemen and even quarterback. But there's no challenge at all for Gary Anderson. I'm sure he brought his golf clubs with him, and he's spending some time on the golf course as well in between practice.
Bring that ball over here, Gary, and then they go and run. The kickers have a great life, of course. When there's 3 seconds left and you got to knock a 48-yarder through, you pay for all those easy days of practice. Jack, I don't mean to be a gloomy Gus or cast a negative pall on things, but Brister has made a lot of things happen improvisationally. And that obviously is a strength for any football team. But over a 16-game schedule, can you continually rely on that improvisational skill to get you out of trouble?
No, not at all. As teams play against Pittsburgh and see it's not Mark Malone anymore, but Bubby Brister, they'll send people to make Bubby Brister pull up. They'll say the worst thing you can do is let him get outside of containment. That's when big plays occur. They'll make him pull up, they'll contain him, and they'll make him throw from within that pocket and make the receivers come downfield and get open.
Anderson kicks away to Morris, who takes it at the 5. Down to the 23-yard line. By and large, pretty good job by the Steeler coverage teams tonight. Darren Jordan, the rookie from Northeastern, down there on the tackle. And joining Jordan was Jeff Markland and Bobby Dawson. After the interception, a 9-yard touchdown drive, or rather the field goal drive, Gary Anderson with a 34-yard field goal. And the Steelers have had 3 turnovers tonight, all of them interceptions, 2 of them turning into scores. One, the touchdown by Tyrone Stowe, and the other one leads to the Anderson field goal. Minute 27 to play in the first half. The Redskins their own 23. Schrader's going to try to get something going here. Incomplete. Pass over the middle is dropped. Joe Caravello, the H-back, drops the pass. So Schrader's having a rugged time. He's been picked off twice, although really neither time has been his fault. 4 out of 12. Caravello, a second-year man out of Tulane.
All the success he has had throwing the ball short, he's better off taking the ball deep downfield. He's had a couple of interceptions, bouncing off people. Calvin Bryant being stripped of the football and intercepted, so he might as well go deep here at 1:23 left.
You know, the Redskins have used their first-string offensive line almost the entire way, so they get some time. Steelers with a rush. Jordan misses him. Schrader fires and is caught. Wide open over the middle for a first down up at the Redskin 45-yard line. The pass complete to tight end Terry Orr. Rod Woodson makes the tackle, but a nice gain for the Redskins. The clock is running down to 104, 103. The Redskins have just one timeout left. Schrader on the run, incomplete. Again looking for Orr, but there were 3 Steelers in the area. Rod Woodson among them, Cornell Gowdy and Greg Carr. It's incomplete. It'll be second down and 10, but that does stop the clock with 53 seconds to play.
Well, Pittsburgh right now, they're lining their defensive backs, all 3 of them deep, on it, taking away the deep 1/3, making sure everything that's going to happen short, underneath on the play. I doubt if Schrader can get a ball deep downfield with a receiver because of the depth of the Steeler defensive backs.
Al Williams, Gerald Williams, Tim Johnson. The Steelers go with a 4-man rush, expecting the pass. Second down and 10. Redskins just outside their own 45. Schrader's going to get hemmed in. Now he gets rid of it. Incomplete. Not able to keep both feet in bounds was Ricky Sanders. So the incompletion forces the Redskins to go to a 3rd and 10. That used 9 seconds off the clock. 44 seconds remain in the first half.
I give a lot of credit to that secondary because Jay Schrader's getting a lot of time to run around back there and try to find an open receiver. They're playing a zone defense. They're very disciplined. They know Schrader's going to get a lot of time, so they stay in their zones. They don't come out of them until he throws the football downfield. Schrader just could not find anyone open.
An interesting guy in the ball game was Tolbert Bain, rookie free agent out of Miami, but he was a real important part of that secondary with Blades down in Miami. And no, I kind of think that he may be a shot to make this team. He certainly saw passing offense every day. Schrader with time. Now the pocket starts to collapse. And that might be construed as intentional grounding.
If the rule was ever written, it was written for that play right there by Jay Schrader. Getting pressure from 2 or 3 defensive linemen. Nobody in the area. He was trying to avoid a big loss and threw the football away. That should have been a flag.
Unquestionably, we're hearing boos at RFK Stadium. And I don't think it's because Ed Meese is here, or was here. Redskin fans, 1 game removed from a Super Bowl, are booing the Redskins. Lewis Lift back to receive the punt.
They just got their rings this afternoon at Redskin Park.
They had a big ceremony. Everybody was crying and screaming. Lips fumbles the line drive.
I'm sorry, I get him out of there.
Yep. Kind of reminds me of the one time they had Bradshaw punt. He kicked it very badly to show Chuck Noll he didn't want to do this anymore. And Lewis has fumbled 2 punts. Those Redskin Super Bowl rings, by the way, we understand they're bigger than the Capitol Rotunda. Guys have to hire tow trucks to carry their fingers around. They're so big.
Well, here's how not to field a punt. Louis Lips, who made the Pro Bowl for his punt returns, just drops the football, goes right through his arm. That's the 2nd time he's dropped the ball on the punt returns. I'm sure Chuck Noll will say to him, either hang on to the football or get somebody else out there who can.
That's a technique from the Pete Incaviglia School of the Reception. Power hitter for the Texas Rangers, not a Golden Glover. Gordy Lockbaum in the backfield. And one would assume the Steelers would sit on this and take their 31-6 lead to the half. Yep. Brister will just sit down. And Brister may sit down for the rest of the game, but he has been an impressive figure here tonight. Throwing a couple touchdown passes, and the Steelers, by and large, have had a very impressive first 30 minutes of football as they were down 6-0, then have scored 31 unanswered points. They have picked off 3 Redskin passes, and they lead at the half 31-6. That is the end of the first half of play. And the score, the Pittsburgh Steelers 31, the Washington Redskins 6. The Steelers, after being down 6-0, have stormed back with a 31-point second quarter to lead the Redskins 31-6 at the half. And when we return, we will pay tribute to one of our own. The score at halftime, the Steelers 31, the Redskins 6. This is the Steelers 88 Network. If you turned away for about a half hour, you're surprised by this. The Steelers, after being down 6-0, now lead the Redskins 31-6 at the half. Over the 4 years that we've worked together, I've kidded Jack Ham a great deal, and of course he has kidded me back, but there was no kidding about what took place in Canton, Ohio last Saturday, as the rest of the country found out what we in Pittsburgh have known for a very long time. Canton, Ohio calls it football's greatest weekend. And although 4 men were inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame last weekend, in the hearts and minds of Steeler fans, there was only ham on the Hall of Fame menu. Jack Ham's face was on everything from programs to beer cans.
Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Steeler fans put on the Ritz to honor the hero of the day, and some are even anticipating the hero of tomorrow. The sights and sounds in Canton bring back memories. Memories of a time when it seemed there were as many fan clubs as players. But come crunch time, they merged into a Steeler chorus in D flat. Quite simply, the finest to ever play his position. His friends and family, including his mother Caroline and his wife Joanne, came to watch as he took his place among the best.
In closing, all I'd like to say is I hope all of you remember this road to Canton, because all of us will be traveling this road in future years. I guarantee you it'll be an annual event to help honor some of my teammates who were part of the greatest football team in the history of the NFL. Thank you.
There are some unique people that when they enter the hall, they literally give that hall more honor than they receive. And Jack Ham's one of those people.
Jack, it must have been an unbelievable experience, almost indescribable.
Well, Stan, it's the greatest honor an individual player can ever receive, but, you know, I had a lot of great teammates around me. I mean, Joe Green, a Hall of Famer, who was there last year, played in front of me for 10 years, and there's no question I would not have been up there if it hadn't been for a lot of my teammates.
Well, you did most of it on your own, I'll say that.
Thank you.
Myron Cope from the Steeler Radio Network joins us now. Myron, you were at the Hall of Fame ceremonies, and it must have been a very emotional and pleasing moment for you as well.
Well, it was a thrill to see Jack inducted after he had given us all those thrills, Stan. And on top of that, he kept it short, unlike some of those other people, and he spoke from the heart, and it was very moving.
We want to talk to you, of course, about the first half. I guess the story, among other things, is Bubby Brister.
Oh, all that time that they put into the rollout offense for Bubby up in training camp has sure paid off. He can fire that ball rolling out, not only rolling to his right, but the most difficult thing of all, when rolling to his left, getting mustard on the ball. He came to life in that second quarter and is doing to the Skins what they did to the Bronx.
I think one other guy that really played extremely well is Warren Williams. We talked about Hodge and Stone, where the guys were going to start, but Warren Williams ran the ball well, caught the ball well, and I thought he played extremely well.
I'm very surprised by Warren Williams because I hadn't seen that much from him in training camp to lead me to believe that he would be a big figure out here tonight. He didn't look good catching the ball in training camp, and I didn't see him do any particularly great running there, but he's flying out there and playing hard-nosed.
What was interesting to me about Warren Williams was on his touchdown catch, it was a blitz control route. He ran it right away, and so did Brister.
Yeah, Bubby, when he's had to release that ball quickly, has done it very nicely on most occasions. Young guys are having big roles here tonight. That's what makes you feel good. Tyrone Stowe, Warren Williams, Greg Lloyd. Heck of a play on the sideline. These young fellas, that's what you're looking for.
One thing I think is going to happen, though, Myron, they're going to make Bubby Brister pull up. As the season goes on and the preseason as well, they're not going to let him get outside that containment. They're going to make him say, stay in that pocket, throw the football in there, and then the wide receivers are going to have to get open downfield.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, they'll get wise to that. But the fact remains, Jack, and you know it as an ex-linebacker, when the quarterback on the other team can roll out and hurt you, it makes your job a heck of a lot tougher, and you don't enjoy it, do you?
And eventually it will help the running game, unquestionably, and help the pass game as the cornerbacks back up. Myron, thanks for being with us. We'll see you in 2 weeks at the Meadowlands.
Well, I'm looking forward to preseason games again.
All right, Myron Coe from the Steeler Radio Network. And when we return, Lynn Cullen will take a look at some of the graybeards of football. This is the Steelers 88 Network.
At Simms, you'll never see this word, because Simms represents it off price over 200 world-famous designer and brand names in men's, women's, and children's clothing. You can always buy men's current $235 suits for $139. $100 designer and brand name shoes for $59. There's never a reason for a sale. At Simms, an educated consumer is our best customer.
When I was a wealthy duke, the house was full of servants. Now, Dobbs here fills in where he can. As chauffeur, gardener, kennel master, and of course serving the classic quencher, Schweppes tonic water. Uniquely refreshing taste.
Cheeky little bubbles. Schwepperfessence.
Dobbs, the door.
Yes, Your Grace.
Loyal man, Dobbs.
Look under Schweppes caps for a chance to win one of 2 million prizes. Details at participating stores.
The Steelers leading the Redskins at the half 31-6. The Steelers scoring all their points in the second quarter. Last Saturday at Canton, Ohio, that wasn't the only big day of football in Western Pennsylvania. Of course, Jack Ham's induction to the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. But there was another football event at Three Rivers Stadium, an old-timers football game between the old-time Steelers and the old-time Dallas Cowboys. Lynn Cullen was there to report that the stadium turned into a hospital ward.
You know, Stan, they were calling it the old-timers game, which sort of rankled me a little bit, seeing as quite a few of these so-called old-timers were younger than me. And I might point out they're younger than you, too. At any rate, as you know, this really wasn't a real football game. It was a flag football game. Although by the time that it ended, the only flag an awful lot of the Steelers were waving was the white flag of surrender.
This is right before the game. This is a very tense moment here in the Steelers locker room.
We'll kick that way. All right. Good luck. Don't get hurt. Stay healthy. Don't get hurt.
Don't get hurt? Now, don't get me wrong, but you see, with this bunch, I had a hunch a warning like that would tend to fall flat. As did Frenchie Fuqua moments later, breaking his ankle, as did Franco Harris, breaking his nose, as did Andy Russell, tearing a tendon.
It's hell to get old. When the mind wants to do it, but the body says no.
It's going to be a long evening. I'll find out who did Michael Jackson's nose and we'll get you one.
Actually, the whole game seemed to be a joke, both on the field and on the sideline, where some of the players kept getting themselves sidetracked, first fielding some reporters' questions and then even fielding their own questions.
Is that the offense?
Yep, it sure was the offense. If you want to call it that.
You got to do it, though, see? Do what?
You see, when the quarterback says, do what? You know you're in trouble. And as a rule, when you start arguing the rules, you're also in trouble.
They threw a forward pass and they threw another forward pass. Yeah, but they were both behind the line, right? That's what we had. Yeah, but you got to turn around and throw it backwards. But you got to. But I also said you got to throw it backwards.
Well, then that's a backward pass and not a forward pass. You can't throw it forward and forward. You can throw forward, backward, and forward.
Yeah.
Rigor mortis is setting in now, man.
Right, but hey, no sweat. It is, after all, just a game.
I don't know if I'd want the old Ranger to explain an insurance policy to me. I didn't quite get that explanation with the official. And every time we saw you, you were laughing. Was it that much fun?
It was a lot of fun. I knew we were in trouble, and Ray Mansfield's our primary receiver on a lot of routes. I knew we had no offense at all.
Well, you want to give the quarterback a big target to throw at, and you got the old Ranger back there. Was the best part of it, Jack, seeing the guys and the Cowboys and having a chance to visit with them?
It was really going in the locker room. I think a lot for all of us. We didn't feel we'd be back in that locker room in the old lockers that we had in the old days, and it was kind of nostalgic to go back. But I'll tell you one thing, Roger Staubach is better than the Dallas Cowboy quarterbacks they have down there right now. He can still play.
Did it rankle you that you lost by 2 points, 24-22?
No, not really. I don't think I was worried about the guys that really got hurt. And even the broken nose by Franco is one thing, but Andy Russell tearing his Achilles. And if we'd have known Russell was 47 years old, we would never have let him out there.
Well, there'll be about a 12, 14-year hiatus until they're able to play again, and then they'll play wheelchair football. All right, we'll be back with the second half kickoff in just a moment.
When you're rocking down the highway, keep your engine rolling with a motor oil specially formulated for your car. Valvoline has high-performance formulas for turbo cars, four-cylinder cars, hard-driven cars, all cars. Valvoline. Motor oil is not just motor oil.
Right now at McDonald's, get 3 big summer meal combos fast, each with a super summer-sized Coca-Cola and super summer-sized fries. Just say number 1 for a Big Mac combo, number 2 a McDLT combo, number 3 a Quarter Pounder with cheese combo. And all 3 are ready to go when you are. For a limited time, pay only $3.33 for any super summer-sized meal combo. That's just $3.33, only at McDonald's.
Teams are back on the field as we're about to start the second half. The Steelers leading the Redskins 31-6. A dominant second quarter by the Steelers, scoring all their 31 points. 10 of those points being set up by the defense, and the Steelers obviously have a big edge in almost all statistical categories. 13 first downs to 6, that more than doubled there. Brister, after kind of a slow start in terms of completion percentage, Jack, come on to pass very well. Total yards, Steelers way out ahead. Again, the turnovers are critical, making 3 and, more importantly, turning 2 of them into scores.
Well, they made a lot of big plays. And as Myron was saying, Bubby Brister just got better and better in the second quarter. And the only thing that concerns me now here in the third quarter, we're going to take a look at Todd Blackledge, I think, for the entire second half. When you got a quarterback like Bubby Brister who runs around out there, you better have more than one quarterback available, because guys get banged up, not sitting in the pocket all the time, running out of the pocket, bootlegging, and all the things that he does with that offense. So Todd Blackledge, we'll see what kind of quarterback he's going to be. He's more of an upright, stand-up, drop-back type quarterback. Does not fit into the flow of this type of offense. I think we'll probably see a different Todd Blackledge here in the second half.
One thing about Blackledge, I'm wondering, Brister is pretty much given the job after only 2 weeks of training camp. Then Brister goes out and performs this way in the first half. Now, Blackledge has been around. He's never achieved a great deal of success in the NFL. What's going through his mind? I mean, is he kind of down at this point, knowing that he's been relegated to being a second-team quarterback?
Well, I think right now Todd's a bright enough guy to know he is the number 2 quarterback right now. I think he's going to try to go out there and perform as well as he can, be a professional, and know the fact that Bubby Brister could go down at any time, and he'd be the starting quarterback. So that's only the first half, but I think Bubby Brister has a lock on this job.
Deep for the Redskins, Jamie Morris. Not getting much of anything. I don't know if it's the height of Anderson's kick, the depth, or a combination of all 3, but good special teams coverage by the Steelers, not allowing Jamie Morris much distance at all, and Tolbert Bain made the tackle on the special teams. It's a little early to start talking about who's going to make teams and who's not, but special teams certainly an important determiner when it comes down to cut time. The first mandatory cut, by the way, is not till August 23rd, so the Steelers will have played 3 exhibition games before that happens. Mark Ripien is the quarterback for Washington. He'll try to pass on first down. He does. Oh, good solid stick on the play by Rod Woodson. Mark Ripien is in his second year out of Washington State. The Redskins like him a great deal, and when they were considering dealing Jay Schrader, Ripien was their insurance policy.
And this is we're talking on that hitch pattern. This is the closing speed we talked about that Rod Woodson has, the #1 draft pick. You see him close on the receiver, and I'll tell you, anytime you hit a receiver like that on the hitch pattern, he'll drop a couple, he'll turn back towards the quarterback. Rod Woodson delivered a tremendous blow.
Handoff to Willard Reeves. He's very close to the first down. Reeves is an interesting story. He is a rookie in the NFL, but he led the Canadian Football League in rushing, and he's getting a tryout now with the Redskins. They're very deep in running backs as it is. We've got a man down. It is Tim Johnson. Johnson down for the second time in the ball game. The Redskins, by the way, did get the first down.
Stan, another guy who's playing with a lot more confidence out there, taking Mike Merriweather's spot. Greg Lloyd coming from that right linebacker position this time, closed down on the play, made the hit. He's made a couple of tough tackles on running plays in the first half, and that's the way he started here in the third quarter.
Trainer Fran Feld will help Tim Johnson. Again, he has been injured in training camp with a bruised chest. This is the second time he's been shaken up. Steelers very thin on the defensive line. In case you joined us late, Aaron Jones is not dressed. He is not here, nor is Keith Willis, so there's 2 defensive linemen right there. Keith Gary has played sparingly. Gary Dunn has not played at all. First and 10. Redskins their own 30. Mark Ripien the quarterback. Pass out in the flat to Yarborough, and he pays the price again as he is whacked by Greg Lee, rookie free agent out of Arkansas State, who was scheduled to start tonight, but they went with Larry Griffin instead. The gain is 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
Well, it's great to catch those hitch passes. You can work on your stats, but you don't want to get the football high like this. It gives Lee a chance to get right on the numbers of Yarborough and just drill him right into the ground at the 36-yard line. You want that ball low that you can turn upfield, and the timing has got to be a little bit quicker.
Yarborough is a small guy. He fits that Smurf image the Redskins have had for so long. McEwen in motion. Ripien to throw on 2nd down. The pass is almost intercepted. That time Rod Woodson stayed back on that same little out pattern to the sideline, read it, and kind of floated it, and Rod just falling a step shy of the interception.
Rod Woodson, when he gets the secondary coverages down, well, he's going to make a lot of interceptions for Pittsburgh. Way he closed on the football, the 5 or 6 yard gap right here on that out pattern. And you see Rod Woodson's a 205-pound defensive back just close on the ball. Good protection there for Jay Schrader, but closed on the out pattern. And I'll tell you, he almost comes up with his interception.
Ooh.
In fact, he should have caught the football and made the interception and gone down the sidelines.
3rd down and 4. Ripien will roll out. With a pass complete for the 1st down to Craig McEwen, the tight end, or the H-back, depending on his position, where he lined up in the backfield. He's out to the 30, make it the 44-yard line. That'll give the Redskins their 2nd and consecutive 1st down. Rod Woodson makes the tackle with help from Greg Lloyd.
You see Woodson right now out here, man-to-man coverage. All of a sudden he gets turned back, and now he just lets the receiver go. That's just inexperience right now. You just got to stay with your man all the way when he turns back towards the football. That's when you got to close on him and let the receiver go, and he got the 1st down.
And I'm assuming McEwen just looks for an open spot. A quick hitter up the middle is Jamie Morris. Gets about 5 to the 49-yard line. Tyrone Stowe makes the tackle for the Steelers. Jamie Morris, only a 4th-round pick. He was a great All-American in college. But again, people questioned his size. And unlike his brother Joe, Jack, I think that Jamie Morris does not have the kind of speed that Joe does.
Joe Morris has tremendous quickness. He can get off the mark so quick. Also, people don't realize how strong he is and how tough a runner he is, and also hard to find behind that giant offensive line.
2nd down and 5. Redskins are on 49. Delay handoff to Jimmy Morris again. He's not going anywhere. He'll lose a yard back to the 48. Great penetration that time by Gerald Williams, who's played a pretty good ball game here tonight at the nose tackle.
Well, that is the key to the Pittsburgh defense, especially against the run. They know what Dunn can do. But Gerald Williams, if he performs extremely well, they know they have 2 nose tackles. And you know in this league, 2 nose tackles sometimes is not enough for the entire season.
Hardy Nickerson coming out of the ball game, standing next to Dennis Fitzgerald, who helps with the linebackers. 3rd down and a bit more than 5 for the Redskins. Steelers with a 4-man front now, as Darren Jordan becomes a down lineman. He's on the outside blitz. Ripien throws, and it is caught by Yarborough over the middle. He loses his helmet, but not the football. That's a great catch by Eric Yarborough. He's a tough little guy. He's got a 1st down at the Steeler 36. Bobby Dawson hit him first, and Tolbert Bain finished up, but he holds on.
Tolbert Bain here is on the coverage. He's breaking in the inside. I'll tell you, the ball was behind Yarborough. He just goes back and makes the catch, gets hit by 2 defensive backs in that secondary, hangs on to the football. You got to realize a lot of these guys, Yarborough and company and Clark, they're all very small receivers, and he made a tough catch across the middle and turning back to the football.
1st down and 10, Washington, as they convert on that 3rd down play. Pass in the flat to Jamie Morris, looking for a block, and he does not get one. That's a good defensive play by Hardy Nickerson. Morris tried to juke him. Hardy wasn't buying it. He stops him for a yard gain.
That's a big play by Hardy Nickerson. He had 2 blockers in front of him. He sifted through both of them, came up and made the play. That's a player as a linebacker. You see him coming up right now. Nobody really blocks him. He gets underneath the blocker and makes the tackle on Morris and holds it to about a yard gain.
Jack, it's hard to judge on one game, but with the release of a guy like Calvin Sweeney and a guy like Edmund Nelson, might a lot of these veterans be in serious trouble?
I think some of the veterans who aren't here are in some serious trouble. People like Mark Benning,
and it is intercepted by Tyrone Stowe. Again on a deflection, and Stowe is falling down. He dropped it once, but caught it on the rebound, and the Steelers, with some fortuitous bounces, have picked off their 4th pass of the evening, and Stowe's 2nd.
One of the defensive linemen got his hands up in the air and just batted the ball down by Mark Ripien, just reflected it Again, that's Lloyd, the outside linebacker, got his hands jumped up in the air and got in the line of flight and caused the interception for Stowe, who came up with his second interception. I'll tell you, the linebackers are making a lot of big plays. I'm glad to see that.
All right, Todd Blackledge making his first appearance as a Steeler quarterback. David Clark and Gordy Lockbaum are the running backs. This is Gordy Lockbaum. Finds a bit of a crack over left guard across the 25 and out to the 26-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3 to make it 2nd down and 7. Todd Blackledge from Penn State, of course, led them to the national championship in '82, drafted #1 by Kansas City. But his 5 years in Kansas City have been disappointing. He is now a Steeler. The Steelers giving up a draft choice to get him.
And it's also a good choice to put him in here with the #1 offensive line and see what Todd Blackledge can do with the #1 unit.
2nd down and 7. This is Gordy Lockbaum, and he's mauled right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Of course, with Rich Ehrenberg retired, there is a position open for that pass-catching back. You've got Gordy Lockbaum, you've got Rodney Carter, and who knows, Walter Abercrombie may be reduced to just being the back out of the backfield on 3rd down or on passing downs, I should say.
People you realize as a running back, Gordy Lockbaum is not the quickest guy in the world, but you don't have to be that fast to run routes against linebackers in that intermediate area, and Gordy Lockbaum does that extremely well.
Lipson Thompson in a slot to the bottom of your screen on 3rd and 7. Blackledge's first pass. He fires. It is a crossing route. Lockett is only going to get a couple out to the 30-yard line. It's complete, but way short of the 1st down. Mel Kaufman, the linebacker, makes the stop, and the Steelers will be forced to punt. And we're going to see John Bruno, who is going to challenge Harry Newsom for the job. Newsom, by the way, averaged nearly 48 yards a punt in the first half. Lockett has had a pretty good night tonight, catching 3 balls. John Bruno, a 5th-round draft choice, the St. Louis Cardinals 2 years ago, did not punt well in his training camp in 1986. Rejoined the Steelers as the replacement punter last year. Derek Shepard, formerly of Oklahoma, is back deep for the Skins at the 25. And a bad snap, or Bruno never saw it, and he'll take the safety.
They got a penalty flag at the 25-yard line. Maybe
I believe
too many,
the Steelers had 12 guys on the field. You saw a guy running on the field the last second. Bruno did not expect the snap. Well, the Redskins obviously will take the 2 points and then the ensuing punt on the free kick. Bruno was not even looking at the ball as I saw it.
It may be an illegal procedure penalty, which may blow the play dead.
Formation, decline, safety. Well, the safety will stand. A guy ran, and I think it was Blankenship. Yeah, Bruno was not looking. I believe that was Garzinski who snapped the ball back to him, and Bruno was not looking at him. And the way that's normally done is the punter will just signal with his hands to the center to snap the ball. There's nothing verbal there.
I think Chuck Noll will have a long talk to the special teams coach, maybe about a half-hour meeting, since Chuck Noll was in charge of the special teams, and now he's got John Kolb and also Dennis Fitzgerald involved in it as well. Just a lot of miscommunication back there to cause that safety.
7:37 to play in the 3rd quarter. We've got a timeout. The score: the Steelers 31 and the Washington Redskins 8. We'll be back in just a moment.
Pittsburgh is a sports town. You see it in the street. And everyone who is a fan is everyone you meet. 'Cause you can't, no you can't, no you can't keep it Iron Man down. Labor keeps, don't walk wrong, 'cause you can't keep an Iron Man down. Yeah.
9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Great taste, Coca-Cola cool and the fries hot. Good time. Real good food every time. Next time. Take a little break of the best kind. Good time, great taste. Oh yeah, this is my place. Good time, great taste. A Big Mac, French fries, quarter pounder cheese, salad, McNuggets, McDLT. The good time, great taste of McDonald's.
Sally Wiggins' mom.
Sally just loves Pittsburgh. She's really grown to love the people.
I've got to have a coffee.
She does work hard, but she loves it.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sally Wiggins.
I really feel she's talking to the people in Pittsburgh. She certainly can dig for a story. Sally really loves to try new things.
Okay.
She does care. She really does. She would create pride in any mother. She's real happy here.
John Bruno's first punt of the game will actually come on a free kick and will not count as a punt after the botched up snap and people looking different directions. So Bruno now with the free kick will punt it from the 20-yard line. Well, the Steelers have already outdone any scoring output from last year, although it is the preseason. The Redskins will with most of their regulars on defense, however, with the exception of Darrell Green and Dexter Manley. Very short punt, not a good one. It's fumbled around there by the Redskins. And so they'll have the ball in pretty good shape at the 46-yard line. James Earl, rookie linebacker out of Clemson, number 39 for the Steelers, made the tackle, a 12th round pick. There he goes. We'll see some action from scrimmage later on. For the Steelers, pretty much the same defensive line. They really have no other alternative with so many defensive linemen banged up. Keith Gary's in there now. Gerald Williams at the nose.
Going in a preseason
and
game.
Dominic at defensive end. Sorry, Jack.
As hot as a humid it is out there this evening, knowing you're going to play almost the entire football game, those defensive linemen, it is a tough evening for all those guys. And it's chasing around Doug Williams and Jay Schrader all evening, and now Mark Ripien is not an easy job.
Ripien standing in the pocket, throwing deep down the middle, and it is overthrown. Again, looking for the tight end, Terry Orr. Favorite play of the Redskins. We got a fight going on. Ed Simmons, number 76, and one of the Steelers, Keith Gary, and there's a flag down. Not an unusual circumstance for Keith Gary. He has had his share of scrapes over the years. Let's see if there's going to be a double foul. Nope, only on the Steelers.
Whether it's against Keith Gary or not, or he was the second man in on the play, that's a call by the official that keeps control of the football game. Offsetting fouls will never get anything done out there. You'll lose control of the game. The first guy you see on a personal foul, you call it, whether it's right or wrong. You know someone's going to get penalized, and that's the way the official can control any kind of situation on the field.
Well, Gary happened after the play was already past the line of scrimmage. Let's see if there's any fireworks after this. Gives the Redskins a first down. Steelers 39. The late draw, Willard Reeves, the ball carrier. When he was the Canadian Football League's leading rusher, he's trying out with the Redskins. They do have a bevy of running backs, and they have specialists. Some guys are runners, some guys are pass receivers.
And it's such a sophisticated offense that Joe Gibbs has put together down here. If guys get hurt, especially in a quarterback situation. A number of years ago, we talked about the Bears trying to repeat. Jim McMahon gets hurt. I'll tell you, if Doug Williams goes down, Schrader can come in, Mark Ripien. They're deep in quarterback. Wilbur Marshall added to the defensive linebacking core. They're a solid football team. I think Joe Gibbs, a lot like Chuck Noll, keeps his team in order and keeps their feet on the ground. They got a good opportunity, even though it's a very tough division and conference.
Well, the Steelers losing their composure a bit here as Gerald Williams charges offside. That 5 yards will give the Redskins a first down. So the 2 first downs on this drive have been on penalties. There you see Big Ed Simmons. He's 310 pounds, and there's Willard Reeves. First year officially, but he is a veteran of pro football, if only in the Canadian Football League. 1st and 10, Washington at the Steeler 29-yard line. Allen in motion. There's the hitch pass to Ricky Sanders. He beats a tackle. He's got a first down at the Steeler 18-yard line. Caught him out in the flat. Greg Carr finally dragged him down. But Greg Lee was there in the coverage, and Sanders did a nice, Chandler did a nice loop move on the play.
Just another hitch pattern, and this time Rod Woodson does not close on a play. He tries to arm tackle and bring the receiver down. That just won't get it done in the National Football League. You got to be disciplined and consistent on every play, and that's why Chandler was able to turn upfield and get some extra yards. Maybe some guys getting a little bit tired out there when you start arm tackling. You know, guys are getting a little fatigued.
Chandler's a rookie free agent out of Georgia Southern. It's Anthony Allen in motion. Willard Reeves, he's hit at the line of scrimmage and stopped for a 1-yard loss by Keith Gary. So that time he took it out on Ed Simmons by beating him on the block. and knocking down the ball carrier for a 1-yard loss. It'll be 2nd down and 11. Good play by the veteran from Oklahoma.
Well, Keith Gary just came off the football load, got right into the offensive lineman, drove him right back into the backfield and made the play. I mean, Joe Green will be very happy with the play of Keith Gary on that situation.
Well, some of these guys have to get the message. The Steelers have been drafting defensive linemen year after year. It's obvious they're not happy with what they have or what they had. 2nd down 11 from the Steeler 19-yard line. Ripien, corner, incomplete. Intended for Chandler. Lee was actually beaten initially, but got back in time to help break it up. It'll be 3rd down and 11.
That's one of the toughest passes in football to throw. It's just a timing route. The receiver has got to get away from the defensive back at the line of scrimmage because Ripien is letting the ball go right when it's after the ball is snapped immediately and throwing it, just lobbing it in the corner of the end zone. It was a little bit of an underthrow, and Lee came back and made a good play on the football.
As a football observer, Jack, you like that fade pattern?
Well, on bump and run cover, that's a good. Your odds are great to try that play. If you don't work, it doesn't work. It's an incomplete pass. That's the worst that could happen to you.
3rd and 11. Ripien's got a lot of room to run. Stays behind the line of scrimmage, and the pass is caught. Flags all over the place. The pass complete to Anthony Allen. We have ineligible people downfield. Oh, anywhere from between 18 and 28 of them.
You got a personal foul penalty as well called against, I think, number 99, Al Williams. I think it's against Pittsburgh on the play.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 99, first down. Roughing the passer. There are about 4 or 5 flags that flew downfield at the spot of where the ball was caught, and I thought that the initial penalty would be on the Redskins for the eligible man downfield.
That rollout is such a big part of the Redskin offense. You see it here right now. Initially, straight drop back by Schrader. Just cannot find anyone open downfield. It looked like he's going to run with the football for the majority, but he needed about 10 yards for the first down. And I'll tell you, he threw a tough pass across the middle. Could have been intercepted or at worst knocked down. And he made the play. And here's the late hit. Reception across the middle. Couldn't tell with the late hit. Didn't look like that tough a hit by Al Williams on the play. They called it.
Well, like you said, Jack, it's trying to keep control of the game. It is 1st and goal from the 4-yard line for the Redskins. And they have been aided and abetted by 3 penalties in this drive. Reeves hitting the backfield by Darren Jordan and dropped for a loss. Now, Darren Jordan is a project. He comes from Northeastern, a 5th-round draft choice, number 55, a defensive end in college, and they're trying to make a stand-up linebacker out of him.
Well, there's a group of players out there who played extremely well the entire game. That set of linebackers, whoever has been in there, have played. All of them have played well. They come up with big plays on the interceptions by Stowe, big hits by Hinton, and also by Lloyd. Every linebacking core has come in the game for Pittsburgh, has made big plays.
The loss is a yard. 2nd and goal from outside the 5. Pass complete to Terry Orr, but he'll be stopped short of the goal line inside the 2. Greg Lee makes the tackle. It'll bring up 3rd down and goal.
Well, this is a great case of the defensive line and linebackers getting to the football. Here's some guys gang tackling right at the goal line. 4 or 5 people right there helping out on the play. Lee, the initial guy on the play, but 4 or 5 people helping so that Orr does not get in the end zone. That's hustle, guys going to the football and gang tackling.
Anthony Hinton over there, Griffin over there. 3rd down and goal. The football just inside the 2-yard line. Reeves in for the touchdown. Tyrone Stowe and Anthony Hinton put a good stick on him, but he was able to bounce into the end zone. Willard Reeves for the touchdown.
Tyrone Stowe initially at the goal line made the hit, would have kept him out of the end zone. You see the defensive lineman getting penetration. Here comes Stowe right here. Here is where he needed help now. People got to come off their blocks and help out and not let one man try to do it on the goal line. Stowe's the guy who makes the the hit right here, and that's where you needed people to help clean up on the play and keep him out of the end zone.
Should that have been the strong safety's responsibility?
Oh, safety at that point. The defensive linemen are completely out of it because they're just trying to get the penetration. The safety, the free safety's got to come over. The lead's got to come over and help out because he had him stood up there for a second or so. That's when you need your help from other people.
Chip Lohmiller, who missed the first extra point attempt he had. He makes this one. However, there is a flag on the play. Keith Gary jumped offside, but the kick was good. That should be declined. This isn't that tough, boys.
Ball start, number 76.
No, it's going to go against the Redskins. They drew Keith Gary offside.
A little premature, Stan.
Yeah. Well, he was offside. He just got drawn off. So Lohmiller, who couldn't make the extra point from the 3, will now try it from the 8, which of course makes it about a 24-yarder. The ball spotted on the 14. And it's blocked.
Rod Woodson.
Rod Woodson, with his tremendous speed from the corner, blocks the extra point. So the Redskins, even when they score, are getting a lot of bitter with the sweet. They've missed both extra points. 3:17 to play third quarter. We've got a timeout. The score, the Steelers 31 and the Redskins 14. We'll be back in a moment. The score is rather conventional, but the method is not. The Redskins have 2 touchdowns, 2 missed extra points, and a safety. And the Steelers, who scored all their points in the second quarter, in case you're joining us late, lead 31-14 as the Redskins and Lohmiller get set to kick off to the Steelers. Woodson and Stone back deep. This is Rod Woodson at his 3. Out to the 25 and the 26-yard line. And it was Woodson, of course, who blocked the extra point on the last Washington touchdown. Well, Todd Blackledge will get a shot. Here's the touchdown by Reeves. Good stick by Tyrone Stowe.
When he stood to Reeves right up at about the 1-yard line or a half-yard line. Boy, just great penetration by the defensive line. You see him get penetration, and they hit the running back Reeves before he can get to the goal line. But his legs stopped moving. He could not bring him down by himself. And he just finally just bowls into the end zone for the score.
Blackledge with his second series. Play fake. Looking deep and got a man open. It is Lewis Lips, and he's got the football at the Washington 30-yard line. Lewis Lips beat 2 men on the play down the sideline. Blackledge laid it in there beautifully to him. Barry Wilburn made the tackle from behind.
Barry Wilburn had great coverage on the play. That ball was just perfectly thrown by Todd Blackledge. Great touch on the ball. You see right now it's just a play action fake. And he's going back and just a pump fake up the middle to hold the free safety. That held the free safety initially. He could not get over to help. That ball was just laid right over Wilburn, and Lips makes the catch. That pump fake across the middle kept the free safety coming over and helping out on Louis Lips.
Chuck Lanza is the center. Dermontti Dawson, the right guard. This is David Clark on a trap. He fumbled and recovered his own at the 27-yard line and picks up about 3 on the play. So again, Chuck Lanza, number 51, Steeler third-round choice out of Notre Dame, is at center. Dermontti Dawson, number 63, is the right guard, the second-round pick out of Kentucky. You know, I've always felt about Todd Blackledge, Jack, he's a great deep thrower. But in Kansas City, they wanted that Makovic short zing-zing passing, and that really wasn't his style.
No.
He's always had a nice touch deep.
Well, that was a great touch. He put on Wilburn's outstanding cornerback and made a lot of interceptions last year along with Green. So the coverage was great. He just laid the ball in there.
Blackledge slant pass incomplete, threw it to the wrong side. Pass intended for Weegee Thompson, a collision there at the 10-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Now, there are sometimes you do not want to be a tall, rangy receiver when you're coming across the middle like Weegee Thompson does right here. It's a quick inside post, and Blackledge is trying to lay the ball straight in on Weegee Thompson. The ball was behind him, and when he stretched out like that, right now he is open season, ribs, whatever, concussion, anything can happen to you right now when you stop for the football like that because you know those defensive backs are coming.
Danzel Lee comes in at tight end, and Rodney Carter is the pass-catching specialist out of the backfield. 3rd down and 8. Blackledge, and a mix-up in the pattern. Hodge cut outside. The pass went inside. And it'll be 4th down and 8. And that'll bring on Gary Anderson. You see a good shot of Chuck Lanza, number 51. There's Dermontti Dawson and John Reenstra. That obviously is going to be, at some point, the line of the future.
And those guys may help out. Reenstra obviously can help right away. But those two young offensive linemen, as the season goes on, mid-season, it'll add a lot of depth to the offensive line because there's so many injuries occur in the offensive line throughout a course of a long season. You need a lot of people there that'll make that offensive line that much better.
Anderson, a 44-yard field goal attempt. It is long enough and it is good. Gary Anderson, perfect on the night. 2 field goals, 4 extra points, and the Steelers increase their lead. 2:08 to play in the 3rd quarter. We've got a timeout. The score, the Steelers 34, the Redskins 14. We'll be back in a moment. The news is pretty positive from RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. However, not so at Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. The opening of the big 4-game series between the Pirates and the Mets. And on the strength of a Keith Hernandez 2-run homer, the Mets beat the Pirates 3-2 to win Game 1 of that 4-game series. They now lead the Pirates by 5 games. They'll play the rest of this weekend. Of course, you remember the Pirates lost 3 out of 4 last weekend in New York. 2:08 to play. The Steelers moving 47 yards. However, 46 of those 47 were on the long pass from Todd Blackledge to Lewis Lips. They settle for the Gary Anderson field goal, and they now lead it 34-14. Jamie Morris, 4th-round draft choice of the Redskins out of the University of Michigan. Kickoff is high, but it is short. Morris to the 4. Looking for the outside. Not quite quick enough to get there. He's at the 25-yard line, and Mark Ripien and company will take over from there. Coming down on kickoff coverage for the Steelers, Jeff Markland. He's a backup tight end, free agent, trying to make this club. So Lewis Lips makes a big catch tonight. A 46-yarder from Blackledge. Bubby Brister had himself a very, very big first half. 31-point second quarter, although the defense has intercepted 4 passes tonight. Play fake, batted up in the air and incomplete. Again, the Steeler defensive line getting their hands in the faces of Redskin quarterbacks. That time it was Al Williams. Got his hands up and batted the ball away.
Stan, not that we've had that much pressure on the quarterback. It's just people just have not got to Ripien or Schrader or Doug Williams, but keeping their hands up in the air even when they're blocked at the line of scrimmage, and they've been in the line of flight of the football. And I'll tell you, so many balls have been deflected for big plays in that secondary for Pittsburgh.
Ripien, 8 out of 12, 63 yards. Been picked off once. Into the game at free safety, Kevin Gribben, free agent from Westminster. Big kid, 6'3", 205 pounds. Bobby Dawson in there at the strong safety. Pass out in the flat. And it's complete to Willard Reeves. He is out to the 30-yard line. It'll still be 3rd down and 5 yards to go. We have a minute and a half to play in the 3rd quarter. Hardy Nickerson and Greg Lloyd make the tackle.
Hardy Nickerson, a second time they try to run a screen pass to the outside. He's been able to sift through again and get underneath the blocker and make the play when there are 2 or 3 blockers out in front of the running back. That's what a linebacker has to do, keep his feet, make the blocker miss, and make the play.
Have you been impressed with linebacker play overall tonight, John?
Not only the big plays, but the outside linebackers have played extremely well. Lloyd has played well and made big plays.
Incomplete over the middle. And the man wide open was Keith Griffin, but Ripien overthrew him. There's a mismatch there. He had a linebacker on Griffin. Carr was behind him, but the pass was there. As a matter of fact, there have been 3 deep bombs over the middle tonight for the Redskins that they have not hit. But again, you're talking about the first preseason game. 4th down, 5. The Redskins will have to punt.
I'm sure Joe Gibbs, after the guys got their Super Bowl rings this afternoon and all the fanfare, whatever, and told them, last year you won the Super Bowl with nothing you did last year is going to win you a job or a football game this year, and he'll probably have a long talk to his football team if this score continues in Pittsburgh's favor.
Steve Cox will punt, and Lewis Lips is back there again for the Steelers. And Lips fumbles it again. And he fumbles it twice on the same play. But I think Larry Griffin has fallen on the football. Lips has fumbled 4 times tonight on punts, 2 on the same play. I think Lewis ought to take a seat on the bench, have some Gatorade, and wait for the plane home before he gets hurt.
If he was a...
I'm sorry, Jack.
If he was a rookie, he had been cut.
Yeah, 56 seconds to go, third quarter. We've got a timeout. The Steelers lead it by 20, and we'll be back in just a moment. If the circus is in town, we've got a guy who might need a part-time job. Louis has had all kinds of trouble with the punts, and I don't know how much practice he's had at training camp this summer in Latrobe.
First of all, he did get some pressure on people downfield, but you got to just hang on to the football. And then he fumbles it again for the second time. Fortunately, Pittsburgh recovered at the 30-yard line, but
John Colt's telling him how he used to do it at Oklahoma State, return those punts. I mean, Lips is so vital to this offense. It's not so much that you worry about him getting hurt. Although punt returning can be you've got to get him used to contact, but he's going to get plenty of contact as a wide receiver.
Right, to put him out here in the first preseason game, and it looks like right now he doesn't want to be out there either. But just, you're right, he's going to get so much contact. He's going to get banged around and playing wide receiver. I'll tell you, he's been catching everything in sight up there at training camp and come back with a great attitude. His hamstrings have not bothered him at all. And to put him in as a punt return man here in the first preseason game, I'd have to disagree with Chuck on this one call.
Well, they used Woodson early in the game, and I'm surprised they haven't used Gordy Lockbaum at all. He returned kicks in college. Blackwood's the quarterback. Flags all over the place. Frankie Pollard getting his first carry. Or make that Dwight Stone, I'm sorry. Dwight Stone back in the ballgame. It looked like Frankie Pollard or Ernest Jackson are going to play tonight.
Well, there's a lot of flags right now. The play is getting a little sloppy. And you think, well, you got a big lead. You can coast through this football game. But there's so many guys out there trying to make this team a 45-man roster. Even though these scores 34-14, you got to play 100% right now on special teams on every play, because the score does not matter in the preseason game. It's how well you play throughout the 4 quarters of what Chuck Noll's looking at.
Jack, we just saw a changeup. Steve Bono was signaling in the play to Todd Blackledge, taking a verbal command from Tom Moore and kind of passing it along to Steve Bono, who signaled it in. So Steve won't be bored this fall. He's going to make the club with 3 quarterbacks.
Well, telling him to signal in the plays is a vote of confidence for him that maybe he might be on this roster.
Yeah. The 10-yard penalty moves the Steelers back to a 1st and 20. Jeff Lucas, the former West Virginia player, is in at right tackle, and Dermontti Dawson is going to get called for raising up. That'll be a legal procedure, and it'll now be 1st and 25. The first half was relatively penalty-free, but on the Redskins touchdown drive,
number 63.
And on this drive, a lot of penalties for Pittsburgh.
And there's a lot of young people out there playing, and just the fact that you've got to concentrate and play well, because Chuck Noll is going to go over every mental error that's made out here in the film day probably on Monday back up at training camp. And like I said, he won't matter one bit what the score is, how well you play.
Well, you saw the sideline shot of Noll after the 10-yard penalty, and it looked like he eaten a bad taco. He wasn't at all happy, even though he's winning 34-14.
Getting back to Steve Bono, during the regular season, they'll have 2 people giving the signals in, Tom Moore and Steve Bono. One will be live and one will not be, so you can't steal the signal. So I'm not sure if Steve Bono is live or not on that sideline giving the signals.
We have reached the end of the 3rd quarter of play. And the score, the Pittsburgh Steelers 34, the Washington Redskins 14.
Where the rivers come together is a town that stands alone. Some call her the Iron City. To my friends and me, she's home. 'Cause you can't, no you can't, no you can't, no you can't, no you can't keep an Iron Man.
To prove that your ad in the Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages attracts customers, I opened Martin's Out-of-the-Way Ice Cream Parlor. What a location! Great hours. But business was chilly till I put an ad in the Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages, where people look 11 million times a week. Now I'm scooping up big bucks. Bring your own cone? My idea. Ooh, nice cone. More proof. The Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages is the one, that works. Bella, Pennsylvania, a Bell Atlantic company.
We first met, it was almost 20 years ago. I was struck by her energy, her remarkable beauty. Oh, she's into cultural things, likes sports, loves being surrounded by water. Absolutely glistens in the sunlight. Boy, does she light up at night. But like anything else complex, it takes a few years to get to know her. She's Pittsburgh, and I love her. Oh, she's had some bridge work done over the years, but she doesn't smoke as much as she used to.
Well, since you've enjoyed, no doubt, our brilliant commentary tonight, you'll want to join us in 2 weeks from the Meadowlands when the Steelers take on the New York Football Giants. That'll be Saturday, August 20th at 8 p.m. That's our next telecast on the Steelers television network, Steelers 88.
And I know it's an important game because George Young, the general manager of the New York Giants, was here scouting this football game. He's got his own problems up there trying to sign Carl Banks, their great outside linebacker, to a contract, and they're a lot of dollars apart.
Well, the Redskins open up the regular season with the Giants on Monday Night Football. Blackledge looking to set up a screen, but it was destroyed. Now he has to take off on his own. Todd to the 20 and perhaps the 21-yard line. He was looking to set up the screen to the near side of the field, but Raven Caldwell came in to destroy everything, and then he had to back off. So it was first and long. It's now second and almost as long. The Steelers, really the domination is not that great over the Redskins. They had a passing almost even. Whatever advantage they have has been in the running game. Second down and 20. Game by Blackledge was 5. Stone in motion. Blackledge to the sideline, and it is caught by Mark Zeno. That's his first catch of the preseason, first catch of the night, obviously. He's the 7th round pick out of Tulane, led the NCAA in career receptions. So the gain is relatively short, but it puts the Steelers into a makeable third down situation. Keep an eye on John Reenstra here.
He's locked up with Darrell Grant, just keeping him right in front of him. A good job at keeping his feet away from Todd Blackledge. I hope he can get a lot of help from him. They'll make it a solid offensive line if Reenstra comes back and plays well.
Third down, 11. The Steelers at the 30. Just underway in the fourth quarter, leading 34-14. Blackledge got a man open, and it is incomplete. The pass intended on the near sideline for Charles Lockett. Blackledge looped it over one man, but too far for Lockett as they had double coverage with Dennis Woodbury over there. And it'll be fourth down and 11. John Bruno on to punt.
But when you don't pump fake it down the middle, that gives the free safety time to come over and help out on the play. And that's exactly what he does there. And he just makes the hit, and they almost double team and separate the ball.
John Bruno. A high kick. 25 and the 30, and Yarber spins his way across the 40 and out to the 43-yard line. Eric Yarber has had a nice ball game tonight, a 45-yard punt. They're really, I think that Derek Shepard on the return, that really should not have been returned that far because Bruno got good height on it.
And Dwight Stone, the wide man on the punt, was down there and almost made the tackle. He forced the guy to the outside. He did not get any help from anybody else. Shepard went up the sideline and made some good yardage up around the 42 or 43-yard line.
Andy Garzinski eventually did make the tackle for the Steelers. Redskins at their own 42, first down 10. Ripien remains the quarterback. Pass incomplete. Pretty good coverage offered by the Steelers as Greg Carr dropped back in the passing zone, as did Darren Jordan. The pass intended for Darren Chandler.
Well, after a quick token appearance by Doug Williams, the next two quarterbacks who I thought are solid players, both Schrader and Ripien, have not played well for the Redskins. It looks like we're going to go in the regular season again with Doug Williams, the #1 quarterback. He's had a hot hand latter part of the season last year, and I think he's continued here in the first quarter, and I'm sure that job is definitely his.
The noise you are hearing is the wave being done at RFK Stadium. Ripien over the middle, wide open McEwen. He's got it for first down at the Steelers' 33-yard line. The H-back, Greg McEwen, filtering out of the backfield and finding the open zone, makes the reception. Kevin Gribben makes the tackle. It is 1st and 10 Washington, a 24-yard gain.
Just does a good job of laying it over the linebacker right here underneath the defensive backs before the defensive backs had a chance to react. You see the zone defense right now. They just jump back into their area, and all of a sudden that dead area right around the 40, 35-yard line before those defensive backs have a chance to react up on a play.
1st and 10 Washington, the Steeler 33. Ripien throwing deep in the corner. Anthony Allen has got it. And he falls out of bounds to the 1-yard line. All he had to do was roll over for the touchdown because he had not been touched. But Allen catches the pass and kind of scoots to the 1-yard line before he goes out of bounds. 1st and goal, Redskins.
So he just lays his football out here. Initially, Ripien looks down the middle, trying to look off the secondary and just deliver the football downfield over the outstretched arms of Bobby Dawson, the strong safety. Just could not get there. When a quarterback looks down the middle, Dawson and people looked in there, and all of a sudden there's a 4- or 5-yard gap, and then he dives to try to make the play, just could not get there.
1st and goal, Redskins. Willard Reeves. He's in for the touchdown. And that'll make it a 34-20 football game. And remember, still 12:54 to play, and the Redskins will be within 2 touchdowns.
This is the kind of game situation you want your defensive backs in. Bobby Dawson back there. Also Tolbert Bain, who's trying to make this football team. There's some spots available in that secondary. You've got to play well here in the 4th quarter if you're going to try to make this football team. Here's just a line surge right now, just handing the football off to Reeves, and he's just trying to keep his legs driving. His knee is not on the ground. Dawson's trying to come from the outside and just fights his way into the end zone. Initially, Lloyd gets penetration in there, but cannot make the play, and Reeves just pulls his way in.
Now, Lowe-Miller is 0 for 2 on extra points. His 3rd attempt is good. Well, he's made it. A 2nd-round draft pick. It is 34-21. 12:54 to play in the game. We've got a timeout. The Steeler lead has now been reduced to 13 points. We'll be back in just a moment.
Touchstone Pictures presents Eddie, Jessica, and Roger. A man, a woman, a rabbit. Together in a triangle of trouble. Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Story of greed, sex, and murder.
Rated PG, now playing. And also from Touchstone Pictures, it's Tom Cruise. They thought he was good. They were wrong. He was the best. Tom Cruise, Cocktail, rated R. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Now playing separately at theaters everywhere.
Okay, Alex will now do his famous dog impersonations. Grab a stroll light and relax. Ready, Alex? All right, who's this?
Rin Tin Tin.
Look at this.
Look at this. Tramp, my 3 sons.
Right. This is my favorite.
Benji. Oh, I don't know how he does it. It's amazing.
Stroh Light, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
No, here he comes. Here he comes. Who's that supposed to be?
Beats me.
I think when you're doing a live show like this, when you're only as good as your audience, you want them to be involved and you work to keep them involved, keep them talking. And then sometimes, when it's all really working, you realize, hey, all I'm doing here is holding the mic. Pittsburghers have plenty to say and they're right out there with it. Never a dull moment.
The Steelers, who led at the half, 31-6, have now had that lead reduced to 34-21, and a lot of time remaining for the Redskins to come back. That drive set up on a nice punt return by Derek Shepard. 57 yards, only 4 plays. Reeves scoring the touchdown from the 1. Lowe-Miller to kick off to Stone and Woodson. This is Rod Woodson, back foot at the 1-yard line. And Woodson gets back to the 20. Where the Steelers will take over, 1st down and 10. See if we can see who's in the ball game for the Steelers. It'll be Todd Blackledge at quarterback. John Jackson is the left tackle, the rookie out of Eastern Kentucky. Reemster left guard. Chuck Lanza the center. Dermontti Dawson is the right guard. And the right tackle is Trunchilkin, who's back in the ball game. Clink Scales, Zeno, the wideouts, Warren Williams, and Merrill Hodge, the running backs. It's Zeno in motion to the far side. And this is Merrill Hodge. And barely gets the corner and falls out of bounds for no gain. Kurt Govea, second-year linebacker out of BYU, chased him. Good lateral pursuit. Foul him down the line to knock him out of bounds.
Here's Dermontti Dawson pulling out. It's a trap play to the outside, trying to make the block on the linebacker. Does a good job of playing off Dawson, coming down the line of scrimmage and tripping up Hodge before he gets out of bounds. That's an outstanding play by number 54, Kurt Govea of the Redskins.
And not a very good block by Dermontti Dawson. Second down and 10. Blackledge in trouble, but he finds an open man and the pass is dropped. The pass intended for Jeff Markland, a rookie free agent out of Illinois, tight end. He drops it, and that'll bring up third down and 10.
Those are the type of plays that rookies don't make in the fourth quarter that are the reason why they're cut on Monday afternoon or Tuesday. You got to catch the football, and you got to have your concentration, and just did not have it. Here's a play.
We saw Dermontti Dawson getting beat, and we see Chuck Lonzie getting beat by Darryl Grant. Although in his defense, it was a loop and a stunt, and Grant came around. Third down and 10. And this crowd is back into the game. Rodney Carter in the ball game, stays in the block. Blackwood throwing deep, and it is overthrown, incomplete. Intended over the middle for Joey Clinkscales. So the Steelers go 3 downs and out, and they use up less than 30 seconds on the clock, and the Redskins will get the ball very near midfield.
Good coverage downfield in Clinkscales. He's trying to go down the middle deep. Good coverage on the play. That's a man-to-man coverage that the Redskins love to run almost 80 or 90% of the time. And when Green's back in that lineup, it makes that secondary even that much better.
Derek Shepard, who had the nice punt return, will receive the punt from John Bruno. Bruno has punted once tonight. It was a 45-yarder. Very high kick. Shepard takes it his own 45-yard line. So the kick is 35 yards, no return. 12:18 to play in the ball game. We've got a timeout. The score, the Steelers 34, the Redskins 21. We'll be back in a moment.
Right now at McDonald's, get 3 big summer meal combos fast. Each with a Super Summer Size Coca-Cola and Super Summer Size fries. Just say number 1 for a Big Mac combo, number 2 a McDLT combo, number 3 a Quarter Pounder with cheese combo. And all 3 are ready to go when you are. For a limited time, pay only $3.33 for any Super Summer Size meal combo. That's just $3.33, only at McDonald's.
When your special dream needs a special financial performance, come to Pittsburgh National. We'll give you more loan choices than any other bank in town. Pride in performance. We built a bank on it. Pittsburgh National.
Here's something to think about. Within the next 10 years, the largest segment of this country's population will be turning 50, so-called baby boomers. Some of us are already becoming a little sensitive about the term golden agers. So if you're 45 or even 25, the issues that affect older Americans will affect you. Through the Years is a year-long campaign here at TAE to get to know some of Pittsburgh's golden agers and to find out what they're doing to make sure those years are truly golden.
There's the Steeler quarterback comparison tonight. Bobby Brister with the 2 touchdown passes in the second quarter. Blackledge has played all the third and part of the fourth, 3 out of 9. Speaking of quarterbacks, Mark Ripien leads the Redskins out of the huddle. He is 11 out of 17, 135 yards. And like his 2 predecessors, he has been picked off. There you see Todd Blackledge, number 14. A lot of time left in this game. The Steeler defense now made up primarily of all rookies. has to stop the Redskins on this drive. 1st and 10 for 45. Ripien short drop, fires out in the flat, and is caught by Anthony Allen. Missed tackle. He is inside the Steeler 45 to the 44, very close to a first down. Again, that little hitch pattern, but Allen eluded a tackle and was able to pick up nearly 11 yards.
The strong safety, Cornell Gordy, trying to come up, was not under control, wild and reckless coming up out of the outside. It's just a very safe pattern, just throwing it out to the outside. You just got to be disciplined on every play to come up and make that short tackle. That's an arm tackle, and even though it's a little wide receiver, you cannot bring a wide receiver down in the National Football League just with an arm tackle. He breaks that tackle, gets upfield, gets some extra yardage. Just bad form there. Caused another bad tackle at number 96 on the play. Anthony Hinton. 2 missed tackles on the play to get a little bit of sloppy play here in the 4th quarter.
Actually, it wasn't such a safe pattern for Anthony Allen because he got hurt on the play. If he got his bell rung or he's got a cut there.
But it's one thing about this Redskin offense. They got so many wide receivers, and Allen's now up on his feet. I mean, they won the Super Bowl last year, and Art Monk didn't even play in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. So they got a host of wide receivers. They keep bringing him in here, and Bobby Beathard somehow, someway keeps finding those kind of players.
Allen's had a big night, 6 catches tonight. Remember, neither Art Monk nor Gary Clark played tonight. So Ricky Sanders and Anthony Allen, they got a lot of playing time tonight, as did Eric Yarber and Darren Chandler. The gain was 11. It is a first down for the Redskins. The football just inside the Steeler 44. What the delay is now, I'm not quite sure. Unless they want to reset that 45-second clock. That's a new rule this year. It was experimental last year. The coaches hated it. They put it in anyway. And really, the clock should be running here because he never got out of bounds. Now it is. Under 12 minutes to play. 1st and 10 Redskins. Willard Reeves, the lone setback. This is Reeves. Ooh, he takes a hard hit at the 41-yard line. Good shot by Greg Lloyd. Jack, I know you've been impressed by Lloyd's play tonight.
Lloyd has played extremely well. I mean, it's a lot of learning for him to come in and take over the #1 spot for Mike Merriweather. A lot of pressure on him as well. He knows it's an opportunity for him right now to have Chuck know exactly what he can do out there. And he's made a lot of big plays, especially knifing in from the outside and making the tackle as the ball carrier is trying to go up the middle.
2nd down and 7, Washington, the Steeler 41. McEwen in motion, far side. Ripien, a lot of time over the middle, and it is caught by McEwen again, finding that seam. The pass was low. The Steeler defensive back had the opportunity to knock it away, did not, and the Redskins are inside the Steeler 15. Cornell Gowdy made the tackle.
Cornell Gowdy made the tackle, but he should have made the play on the ball.
Yep.
He was right there, got his arm in here just a little bit late on the play. That's the 2nd time, a missed tackle. Now a situation downfield on man-to-man coverage. He lets the man catch the football. That's 2 plays in a row. Chuck Noll will not forget those plays.
And remember, Cornell Gowdy is not just a guy who's out here with a bunch of rookies. He is the starting strong safety at this point, trying to replace Donnie Shell. Willard Reeves, he's got a first down inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. And another Redskin first down. Greg Lee makes the tackle.
Stan, I don't care if it's a CFL, wherever he's played before. When he gets turned upfield, he runs with a lot of authority. He saw that hole on the outside, and he just took the football up in the middle and delivered a blow into that secondary. You know, I'll tell you what, he got a lot of tough runners here. Timmy Smith, Kelvin Bryant, Willard Reeves. So many people can come in and play for the Redskin offense.
1st and goal, and Washington can move within 6 points with his touchdown. And still 9:40 to play in the game. Ripien wants to throw for it. The pass, incomplete. Can't understand that. Number 1, he was through to Duke Donaldson, but he threw into about 6 Steelers who were standing on the goal line. In fact, there was confusion there because both Donaldson and Reggie Branch were standing there.
Stan, you would have come off that receiver. anytime the play-action fake is there, if the guy is not open initially, right when he has the fake, if he's not open right now, you know he's covered. You got to come off that receiver, go somewhere else. This is thrown into a crowd of two people, two defenders. Tolbert Bain is right there along with Greg Carr. That was almost picked off.
Second down and goal. Reeves, touchdown. Reeves scores his second of the game, and the Redskins are within 7, and still 9:27 left to play in this game.
You know, they had George Rogers here for a lot of years. They thought he was a tough, rugged inside runner. They would come after John Riggins. Well, Willard Reeves is a guy who can get those hard yards inside for you, in between the tackles. You see the offensive line straight ahead blocking, a good block on Carr. Two people could have had Reeves about the 1 or 2 yard line. He just runs with so much power, he got into the end zone right between two defenders.
Well, Lohmiller will try for the extra point. He's only 1 out of 3 tonight. And that one is good also. Oh, just like the Steelers had the big second quarter, the Redskins are having the big second half. 9:27 to play. We've got a football game. We've got a timeout with a score. The Steelers 34, the Redskins 28. We'll be back in a moment.
Pittsburgh is a sports town. You see it in the street. And everyone who is a fan is everyone you meet. 'Cause you can't, no you can't, no you can't keep it Iron Man down. Labor Chiefs, don't walk wrong, 'cause you can't keep an Iron Man down. Yeah.
Segment 6 and 5 will be
Here's your mail, Dawn. That's a good idea.
Thanks.
Oh, and you too, Sally. Thanks.
Hey, Sally, don't worry. When you've been doing the news as long as I have, you'll get more mail. Look at this. What's it like working with Sally Wiggin?
You're kidding.
Now, that's what it really says. Now, here's one for me. Dear Don, we sure like your partner, Sally. She's so bright and full of energy.
You know, Don, someday I hope I get mail like this.
Yeah, me too. Sally, can I read some of your mail?
Last year in the preseason opener, the Steelers jumped ahead of the Redskins, only to have the Redskins come from behind to win. Steelers still have the lead, but indeed the Redskins have come from behind. This broadcast is intended solely for the use of the viewing audience. Any rebroadcast or reuse of this telecast without the expressed written permission of the Pittsburgh Steelers and WTAE-TV is strictly prohibited. Cam, I'm warning you. I give you 2 weeks' notice. You're doing that at the Giant game. You have 2 weeks to practice.
Just more responsibility for me here, Ed.
Well, now that you're a Hall of Famer, you have broad shoulders, you can certainly handle it. You've got to expand your horizons. A 55-yard drive in 6 plays. Reeves, the 2-yard touchdown run. Ripien found a very soft Steelers secondary. Lohmiller's kick is short. Woodson. He fumbles. And the Redskins have the football at the Steelers' 21-yard line. And the Steelers have absolutely come apart. And part of being young is maturing when the pressure is greatest.
First of all, he puts the football away. He's got it tucked away right now, but the Redskins just go after the football. They're trying to strip him of the ball, does not keep tuck it away clean. This ball is loose right now, and Blake Peterson, the backup linebacker, number 57, you see hands right now going for the football, trying to punch it loose and knock it out of Rod Woodson's hands, and they do exactly that, and Peterson comes up with the fumble recovery.
First down and 10 for the Redskins. Ripien, who's been hot, can't find anyone to throw to, and now dumps it off. Pass is incomplete as he was under some pressure there. Pass will be incomplete. It'll be second down and 10 as the Redskins threaten to take their second lead of the game, but the last time they led, it was at 6-0.
The Redskins don't lose very often here at RFK Stadium, whether it's regular season or preseason, but here in the second half, they've just come back, and Todd Blackwood just had a tough time trying to move the team. Initially, he had the first team offensive line with him, and after that, it's been a lot of backup people, a lot of young rookies who just came into camp like Lanza and Dawson, and just have not been able to do a thing here in the second half.
Brian Bonner, reserve linebacker, caused the fumble. Peterson recovered. 2nd down and 10. Ripien on the roll, fires, overthrown. Had a man wide open on the sidelines and threw it way too tall. Pass intended over there for Chandler. It is incomplete. It brings up 3rd down and 10 from the Steeler 21-yard line. 9:02 to play in the football game. There are Ripien stats.
Ripien either could have run with the football and possibly got the 1st down or delivered the ball down to Chandler. It's a tough throw. Bubby Bristol does a good job at running to his left and delivering the football downfield. Ripien tried to do the same thing and put some zip on the football. It was high and wide, and Chandler had no chance to come down to reception.
Well, the Steelers can hold them to a field goal here. They can perhaps have an opportunity to catch their breath and regain their composure. 3rd and 10 from the 21. And Ripien is hit from behind, I believe, by Darren Jordan. The 5th-round draft choice, number 55 out of Northeastern, came around, beat a blocker, and then was able to hit Ripien as he threw. No sack, but he caused the incompletion. 4th and 10. The Redskins will have to go for a field goal attempt. And Chip Lohmiller will get the call.
And the thing Darren Jordan did from the outside, he never quit. He just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. Didn't know when Ripien was going to deliver the football, release the ball downfield. Just kept making pressure and progress towards the quarterback, and finally got his arm out and caused the incompletion.
Well, again, he's one of those projects, Jack. He was a defensive end in college, but he's a great athlete. This will be a 39-yard attempt by Lohmiller. Kick is up. It is long enough, and it is good. Chip Lohmiller, the 39-yard field goal, and the Redskins are within 3, 34-31. We still have 8:53 to play. As a player, Jack, I mean, you always want to win, but the important thing here is evaluating talent. If the Steelers were to lose this game, from a team perspective, what does that do?
I think for a team perspective, for the first team and Bubby Brister and company, I think it's a real plus today. For the young people that Chuck wants to see out here, especially in a stress situation, a pressure situation out here, it has not been the case here in the second half. They have to come up with big plays, keep their composure, make the plays, tackle well. They have not done that in the second half. So a lot of the young people who want to see in a game situation he's seen, but they have not performed well.
We're live at RFK Stadium, another sellout here. It's very difficult to get a ticket. The Steelers led 31-6 at the half, scoring all their points in the second quarter, but now the Redskins have exploded. They scored 17 points in this 4th quarter alone, and now have closed the gap to within 3 points, and we still have 8 minutes and 53 seconds to play. That, by the way, was his first Steeler turnover of the game. Short kick by Lohmiller, and Dwight Stone has it at the 11. Looking for some kind of a break, and a good return by Dwight Stone. He gets it out to the 38-yard line.
You know, Stan, the thing up in training camp, when you're making plays in training camp, at practice in the morning or afternoon, that is one thing. But it's a whole different ball game. You got people out here and 55,000 fans screaming and yelling, and you got to make plays after some team has moved the football. You got to come up with big plays, and that's what Chuck Noll is looking for from a lot of these young people at linebacker and in the secondary. And so far, like I said, in this 4th quarter, especially the 4th quarter, it hasn't happened.
644 yards total offense between the two. Warren Williams and Merrill Hodge are the running backs. That's Lionel Austin in motion, and this is Warren Williams. Gets outside, turns the corner, and has a good gain into Redskin territory as the Steelers get a 1st down to perhaps break the momentum somewhat. Clarence Vaughn, the strong safety, ran him out of bounds. But Warren Williams was at a big game, really got to the corner quickly, Jack, showing speed I didn't think he had.
It's deceiving speed, Stan. He turns that corner, you don't think he's going to get there, and all of a sudden he gets that little burst, that extra burst, that gets the corner turned for him. Like I said, he's used to kind of pro-style offense down at University of Miami, and he just has played extremely well, has made the right decisions in the secondary when he had to catch the football, and also the good decisions running with the ball as well.
12-yard gain, the ball just inside Redskin territory on the 50. Blackledge over the middle, and it is caught over the middle. Once again, it is Warren Williams, and he is down to the Redskin 27-yard line. Dennis Woodbury took his legs out from under, but Blackledge with a little slant, and Warren Williams has made giant strides toward making this football team.
where he talked about, just came right underneath the defensive back into the middle. Easy throw for Todd Blackledge, delivered the ball to Warren Williams. But after he gets the football, it's that extra yardage he makes downfield, that burst downfield to get the football to the 25-yard line.
Jack, was that blitz control?
No, it was not blitz control. He's just coming right underneath a wide receiver's clearing out for Williams.
1 yard gain by Hodge on the play to the 36. The clock is running. 7:50 to play in the game. The Steelers hanging on now, and I think that's the proper adjective, hanging on to the 3-point lead. 1 yard gain, 2nd down and 9.
Understand, every year at training camp, there's one guy who maybe does not look that great in Latrobe. Me. All of a sudden, when it gets into a game situation, guys come to the front, and Warren Williams has done just that. I'll tell you what, they'll be taking a long, hard look at him to be part of that offensive backfield.
Chuck Lanza, the rookie from Notre Dame, is the center. John Reenstra at left guard. Blackledge under pressure. Gets it away, and once again, it is Warren Williams with the catch.
And Stan, there's also a pass interference on the play against the linebacker, Raven Caldwell, all over Warren Williams on that play downfield in the secondary, and the official threw the flag.
Well, no wonder Raven's got a helmet on this time.
Here he is coming out of the backfield, just getting underneath. Also, he held up his face mask as well, and also right now hits him early as well, but he still hangs on to the football. Raven Williams was overextended to the outside, so Williams tries to duck underneath him, come underneath the linebacker Caldwell, and get upfield, and that's when he tried to hold him with the face mask.
Hands, number 50, declined. 1st down.
Steelers declined the penalty because once Williams caught the ball, he got more than he would have with the penalty, so it's a 1st down for the Steelers. The ball at the 15-yard line.
I'll bet he's in a huddle right now. He's really pumped up. He knows he's had an outstanding game up to this point with 7 minutes left to go in the game, and he just feels that he can catch the football and get open any time.
Alston, short motion. There's Williams inside the 15, down to the 14. Gain of only a yard or so. 2nd down and 9. Clock running down to 6.5. Tackle made by Raven Caldwell, who's finding life is much safer playing with a helmet. Jack, will a smart quarterback sense that in his huddle and say, look, this guy Williams all pumped up. I'm going to throw to him. I'm going to give him the ball. I'm going to make him run.
Well, when he's making plays like that, you got to feel for it. The guy's in a rhythm of the way Warren Williams is in right now. You want to get him the football anytime you can. And he was not the primary receiver on a couple of those plays, but Todd Blackledge came off, got the football to Warren Williams, and he's made catches.
2nd down and 9 from the 14. Big rush, little pass on the flat, incomplete again, looking for Williams, but that time the Redskins knew what was coming, and free safety Steve Gage, 2nd-year man out of Tulsa, there he is, number 48. He came up on the line of scrimmage, and frankly, the Steelers were fortunate it was an incompletion.
You got to realize across the line of scrimmage, these guys are not stupid either. They know 42 has caught the football all over the field in his drive. Maybe we ought to cover him a little bit better, and that time Gage came over and almost tore Williams' head off.
Or Chuck Noll asking Tom Moore what the play is going to be. You see Charles Lockett coming to the near side.
Also, Wilbur Marshall is now back in the game as well.
Oh. Joe Gibbs pulling out a few stops. 3rd down and 9. Blackledge in the end zone, open and overthrown. The pass intended for Rodney Carter, the running back out of Purdue. He was open, the pass too long. And that'll force Gary Anderson to come on to attempt a field goal.
They had Wally Klein, that big defensive lineman from Notre Dame, and also Wilbur Marshall on the same side of the field trying to put pressure on Todd Blackledge. Now they know Blackledge does not have the maneuverability that a Bubby Brister, so they go back here 7 or 8 yards and know that Blackledge is going to be there, and they just teed off coming off the corner and trying to put pressure.
This will be a 32-yard field goal. Anderson is 2 for 2 on the night. Kick is up. It is long enough, and the kick is good. So Gary Anderson, perfect on the night, 3 for 3 in field goals. The Steeler lead is back up to 6 points, but obviously the Redskins within a touchdown with only 5:48 to play.
I guess the idea of having competition doesn't necessarily bring out the best in you, because again, Gary Anderson just kicked absolutely superb here this evening with no competition at all, and he's getting a tremendous hold by his holder right now, Andy Garzinski, who's just outstanding getting that football down as quickly as he has.
Well, coming up in 2 weeks, our next Steeler telecast will be from the Meadowlands, New Jersey. And the Steeler 88 Network will take you to New York, New Jersey, the Meadowlands, the Steelers against the Giants. Saturday, August 20th at 8 p.m. And assuming we don't trip over any hospital waste, Jack and I will be there. 37-31. The Steelers have managed just 2 field goals this half. But that was a good drive by the Steelers just to quiet the Redskins and the crowd down and at least get some points out of the thing.
First they held the Redskins to a field goal, got the football back, and then Warren Williams and Todd Blackledge and company moved the football team.
Tim Johnson going off the field for the Steelers with an ice pack on his arm. Jamie Morris takes the kick at the 7. And he has a great return out across the 40 near the 45-yard line. Tolbert Bain got caught inside and was blocked inside. That gave Morris the corner and enabled him to get that long return. And Gary Anderson made the tackle for the Steelers.
It's a right return, and Tolbert Bain gets kicked out to the outside. So does pinned out there, and all of a sudden, at the end of this play, Gary Anderson makes his tackle. Not exactly picture-perfect tackle. His head was ducked. I don't think he even saw the running back coming towards him and trying to trip him up and brought the guy ball carried down at the 44-yard line.
Hey, Morris is lucky Anderson didn't kick him with those legs he's got. It break it. 1st and 10. Redskins are on 44. They trail by 6. 5.5 to play. Ripien under pressure throws, and it is complete for a first down at the Steeler 45-yard line. That was a very, very difficult catch made in there for the Redskins for the first down, and it was made by a guy who has no number.
This job is not easy up here.
There's 6,000 guys on the field, and then they put him in the wrong.
96 is supposed to be Wally Klein.
Gehring, there we go. Mark Gehring. He's listed as 99. Ripien over the nose, caught by McEwen. Boy, McEwen has killed them on that pattern all night long. Woodruff, who's back in the game, Woodson make the tackle. But Greg McEwen, trying to make it as another tight end for the Redskins, burns him in the seam again.
He just comes right up the middle. No one jammed McEwen. He gets right up the seam before anybody can get in under control and try to make a play. McEwen just comes right up the field, and you see right now Ripien just looking right at McEwen all the way, just waiting for him to come clear behind the linebackers and then putting the football right there.
Jack, what is the problem there? And we can look at Woodson. Is that his problem?
Well, you got to jam. They're playing the zone right now, and you got to jam him and hold him up so he doesn't get up into that secondary that quickly.
Willard Reeves gets jammed up at the line of scrimmage. Steelers have played the run very well tonight. That play stopped for no gain as Reeves is hammered by both Greg Carr and Greg Lloyd. And the linebackers have had a tough game tonight because there are only 4 healthy defensive linemen. As I mentioned, Tim Johnson has walked off the field. The linebackers have had to do a lot of work.
And here's another good play by Greg Lloyd, the outside linebacker, coming off the block, getting rid of the blocker, and taking on the running back as well. That's an outstanding play.
No gain, 2nd down 10, 3:35 to play. Steelers lead it, 37-31. Ripien pumps, throws, incomplete. Tolbert Bain on the coverage. He was looking for Joe Caravello, the tight end, but could not get to him that time, although they never hit him. The Steeler front 3 plus a linebacker forced the pocket to collapse a little bit.
That's where the defensive line, I know that right now with the injuries are very decimated in the defensive line position, but you got to keep coming. You got to it's going to take a long time if you get to the quarterback with a 3-man rush without the offensive line blocking, but you just got to keep making progress and keep coming on a play and never quit.
Keith Griffin in the ball game. He is a pass receiving specialist for the Redskins. 3rd down and 10. Biggest play of the ball game thus far. Steelers on a blitz. Ripien steps up, fires, and it is caught by Caravello. Short of the first down, a flag is down. It would be 4th down and about 3, but there is a flag down in the Redskin backfield.
Boy, Ripien did a good job of stepping up in the pocket, getting away from the pressure from the outside, and delivering the football downfield. But the holding penalty will bring this football back. tack on 10 yards and make it a lot longer for them to try to get that first down inside the 15-yard line.
The holding call was on the left offensive tackle, Mark Carlson. He is a second-year man out of South Connecticut State. Give him credit for finding his way out of South Connecticut State. Where in the world is that?
Because NFL scouts, they are everywhere.
Everywhere. So the Steelers accept the penalty, and it is now 3rd down and 20. It would have been 4th and 3. The Steelers take the penalty. 3rd down and 20. Ripien throws to the far side, and it is. Did he get both feet in bounds? No, he did not. The catch was made by Darren Chandler, but he only got 1 foot down. That makes it 4th down and 20. The Redskins could try a very long field goal.
Well, he gets jammed down inside. It's a flag route back to the outside. He stumbles right here and still keeps his balance and makes the catch and just gets that 1 foot down. The other one is definitely out. It's a good call by the official. 4th down.
Take another look at it, but clearly Chandler has only 1 foot down. They talk about opening up the game, Jack. I really think that's a rule that they ought to change to open up the game. 1 foot in bounds like in college.
Well, they want to make it a little tougher for these wide receivers. There's enough rules in favor of the offense right now. Let's make them get 2 feet in bounds.
Miller with a 50-yard attempt, and it is no good. At the distance, he was off to the near side. So the second-round draft pick from Minnesota has not had an exceptional night. And the Steelers will take over on downs with 2:43 to play, still leading by 6, and they'll be trying to kill the clock. And we've got a flag on the play. No flag.
Pittsburgh takes over at its own 33.
Chuck Noll, 20th season. Head coach. The Steelers, by the way, in the last 3 years and this game, coming into this game, have had a 2-10 preseason record. That is also since Jack and I started doing the games.
No correlation whatsoever.
No, none whatsoever. Steelers would like to pick up a couple first downs here to keep that football. Offside Redskins, once he was drawn, Merrill Hodge on the drive across the 35 and out to the 38-yard line. It would be a gain of 5. Let's see what the penalty is. It's on the Redskins, so the Steelers will accept to make it 1st and 5.
Offside, 94.
I think Chuck enjoys the fact it's in a situation right now where they got to run their 2-minute offense, meaning trying to control the football, run the clock out.
The player offside, I'm sorry, Jack. The player offside was Bob Onko from Penn State, who last year was a replacement player with the Indianapolis Colts, trying out this year with the Redskins. There's Doug Williams. Started the game and played the first quarter. After that, it was Jay Schrader, who had a terrible time, and Mark Ripien, who's had a red-hot second half. 1st and 5 Steelers. Clock running. 2:17 to play in the game. Hodge, a lot of room. Merrill Hodge, he spun around from behind, but he's out to the 49-yard line. That'll give the Steelers a first down at their own 49-yard line and take us to the 2-minute warning, giving the football to the sure-handed Merrill Hodge. We have reached the 2-minute mark. We've got a timeout to score. The Steelers 37, the Redskins 31, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Eaton Park's worked out a terrific line of light entrees and salads. Delightfully light in calories and fat.
Boy, am I starved.
Eaton Park's light and delightfuls at a price you don't have to sweat.
Joe DiNardo and the forecast.
On our map here at the station, we have a 4. Aliquippa has an 8. Pleasant Hills a 6. Greensburg a 3. And Monroeville a 5. Now, these aren't the temperatures, they're the cable channels in each community where you'll find Channel 4. Once you do, there's a 100% probability of a warming trend. But remember, wherever you find us, there's only one WTAE-TV Channel 4. Oh, if Paul Long is watching, that's this many.
Steelers with a 6-point lead, 2 minutes to play. Both teams, by the way, have all 3 timeouts remaining. Chuck Lonzo, the rookie center from Notre Dame. Excellent blocking here on the delay play to Merrill Hodge.
Not all the time do you have to deliver a devastating block. Just get your man away from the ball carry. He screens the man off to the outside. Hodge comes right up the middle on the delay and got the first down.
Obviously well coached at Notre Dame. Great technique. Blankenship is to his left. Number 60, Jim Boyle, a replacement player from a year ago, is in there at the left guard. John Jackson, the 10th round draft pick out of Eastern Kentucky, is playing the left tackle. Lucas has been at right tackle. And this is good for these guys to grind this out, because one more first down and the game will be over.
Well, it's right. The game is on the line right now. The Redskins have 3 timeouts, a 2-minute warning right now. You know they're going to gang up in the running game. It's Pittsburgh advantage right now to try to get that first down, grind it out. They love running the football. This is their type of ball right now. Get the first down, run the clock out. This is a situation Chuck Noll wants some of these young people in.
Here's Hodge. He'll lose a yard there. Pretty good offensive line charge by the Redskins to throw Hodge for about a half-yard loss. And the Redskins will use the first of their 3 timeouts. 2 remaining. They'll use every one. Again, the Steelers have to get a first down, would kill the clock, and not allow the Redskins one more crack at it. What we've seen here tonight, Jack, and it's only one game, and we did not see Steve Bono or Rick Strom for that matter. But assuming that Brister has really come of age, and it's early to tell, with Blackledge as a backup quarterback, regardless of who you think ought to be number 1, I think we're agreed it's going to be Bubby Brister. The fact of the matter is that the Steeler quarterback situation overall as a whole is much better now than it was a year ago.
I think there's no question about that. As Brister matures more in his preseason, gets more playing time. You got to remember the last time he really played a game was last year in a New England game when it was really a tough situation for him. He really wasn't prepared for it. New England had an outstanding defensive football team, and Bubby Brister looked bad in that game, and he got beat badly. But now he's come back. Again, it's a new attitude. He came back here. When he realizes the pressure really is kind of off him, he knows he was the number 1 quarterback coming in here. Chuck Noll did not have to tell him that. That took some of the pressure off him. They're calling the plays from the sidelines. All he has to do is go out there and execute and be the athlete that he is.
Second down, a bit more than 10. Blackledge will throw. Looking, pumping deep along the sideline, and it is caught by Alston, and Alston is gone for the touchdown. Lionel Alston out-jumped the defensive back, took the pass for the touchdown, and the Steelers will win the preseason game over the Washington Redskins.
You know the Redskins are coming with one-on-one coverage, but the reason this play ends up working because it was a little bit of an underthrow by Todd Blackledge. You see right now the blitz is coming, one-on-one coverage. He lays the ball out there. He pump fakes for a second and lays the ball out, and the ball was a little bit underthrown. The defensive back has pretty good coverage on the play, but he came back for the football, and Johnny Thomas goes right by him, and then Alston comes down with the football and goes in. Anytime you get an underthrow on bump and run coverage, it's to the advantage of the receiver because he can look back and see the ball coming.
Alston's got something of a touchdown touch. Last year, he was a replacement player. He caught 3 passes, all in the same game against the Rams, and 2 of them for touchdowns. So Alston's now caught 4 passes, 3 of them for touchdowns. So the Steelers now have a safe lead with 1:41 to play.
Richie Pettibone, the defensive back, will say, Thomas, you did a good job on that coverage. You've got to run with your man downfield. When you turn back to the football, it's very tough to adjust for a defensive back because the wide receiver also can see the football all the way. He's looking back at the football. The defensive back is not and cannot adjust to it underthrows quickly.
So the Steelers will kick off one more time. 44-31. And again, the Steelers did not win a preseason game all last year, going 0-4. And in the last 3 years, coming in tonight, they were 2-10. And their regular seasons were not as bad as that, but they were not winning regular seasons either. When you consider that the non-strike players were 6-6 last year, as the club finished 8-7 overall. Next week, the Philadelphia Eagles at Three River Stadium a week from Sunday. Our next telecast will be on Saturday, August 20th from the Meadowlands, the New York Giants. The Steelers' last preseason game will be against the New Orleans Saints on the 27th. Morris hit hard that time. Cornell Gowdy coming downfield to make the tackle. Now, Jack, after only a couple, and there's Bobby Dawson also, after only a couple weeks of training camp, is the prevent in, or is it too early for that?
No, the prevent is in the game. They didn't play much prevent man-to-man. Most of the times in a situation at the end of the half or now, usually we'll have the 3 defensive backs lining up about 15 or 18 or 20 yards deep. They have most of the entire package in it, except maybe for a few wrinkles they'll use probably in the 3rd or 4th preseason game.
Well, we've got Larry Griffin in there, Rod Woodson, Kevin Gribben, get him confused, Tolbert Bain, pass in the seam, caught for a first down at the 38-yard line. The Steelers, of course, give the Redskins all those kinds of passes they want. Albert Reese, tight end, made the catch, and Larry Griffin and Greg Lee made the tackle.
The 45-second clock was supposed to speed up play. We're now into 3.5 hours for this football game with 1:13 left.
Oh, Ripien is hit. It's a live football. They're going to rule it a fumble. The sack was made by Darren Jordan. That's the second time he's hit the quarterback, and the Steelers have recovered.
Darren Jordan, another guy who just no one really heard much about, not talked about that much in training camp. Darren Jordan, here he comes on the blitz from the outside. Ripien never even sees him coming. It's going to be a fumble, no question about it. Pittsburgh recovers and will take over, 1:04 left. But a lot of people we've not heard about that much from the Pittsburgh training camp have come on here and played extremely well for the Steelers.
Todd Blackledge, 6 out of 14, but for a lot of yardage, 141 yards, including the 52-yarder to Alston and 1 touchdown. Brister threw 2 touchdown passes. The Steelers have had an offensive explosion tonight, but keep in mind they also intercepted 4 passes, and the defense set up some touchdowns and field goals for them. The recovery on the fumble, by the way, was Al Williams, the guy the Steelers barely listed on their roster. He's been playing defensive end. Merrill Hodge down to the 20-yard line. We are under 1 minute to play. There's Jim Boyle, 77, Tunchilkin having to play. Johnny Thomas, who was beaten on the touchdown pass by Alston, makes the tackle. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Watching Joe Gibbs on the sideline, he looks so intense and frustrated right now. That man hates to lose. I don't care what it is, if it's preseason, regular season, or he's a great racquetball player. He hates to lose at that game as well. And I'm sure after this game and the rematch here in a couple of weeks during the regular season, his football team defensively will be a lot better prepared.
Well, that's right. We should have mentioned that the Steelers play the Redskins the 2nd game of the regular season here in Washington, Sunday, September 11th, after the home opener against the Dallas Cowboys. So they will meet again. Hodge with a football, wants to hang on to it. And that should be the last play of the game, and indeed it will. As we count down the final 5 seconds of football. Hodge, like he got hurt a little bit on that last play. But the Steelers, who were down 6-0 and led 31-6 at the half, come back to hold off a Redskin threat when Washington moved to within 3 points at 34-31. And the Steelers hold on to win at 44-31. So the Steelers win their first preseason game, beating the Washington Redskins 44-31. This has been a production of WTAE-TV for the Steelers 88 Network.